Purina One. Visible health for today and tomorrow. When a cat is healthy, you can see it on the outside. But do you know what makes them look healthy on the inside? It's your cat's gut microbiome, a dynamic ecosystem of trillions of microorganisms. Purina One by Fences balances the bad and good bacteria to help support their gut microbiome. Search today for Purina One's Blue Pack online and in store.
With 3, you can get 9 months half price on a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra powered by Galaxy AI. Available with unlimited data from £44.50 a month for the first 9 months, plus annual price rises and £50 up front on our value plan. Search 3 or head in-store today. Life needs a big network.
24-month airtime plan. 36-month device plan. From £60 a month from month 10. Price rises each April by £1.50.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast.
With Lucas Volvo. The full electric range is now available on Motability.
It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard for the second League Cup semi-final. Motherwell against Rangers at Hampden, with both sides looking to reach the final, with Philippe Clement perhaps needing to. Whoever wins will meet Celtic, who demolished Aberdeen 6-0 last night at the National Stadium. And in the Premiership today as well, Dundee against Kilmarnock and Hibs-Dundee United. I'm Gordon Duncan, and joining me you have Gordon Dalziel, Mark Wilson and Hugh Keevins.
Motherwell are underdogs, under strength, under no illusions. The Rangers team they face at Hampden today are under pressure, underperforming, underachievers. But today is Philippe Clement's date with destiny. If his players don't rise to this occasion, they'll never rise to any challenge, and he can't keep his job. Celtic are waiting in the final. Their game against Aberdeen delayed by pyrotechnics, but finished with a 6-goal win and more fireworks than you'll see on bonfire night. Who'd fancy taking them on?
Well, it's an absolutely huge day for the Rangers manager. He's got the opportunity to get his side to a final, but that still will hold pressure, even if he does that on his shoulders. If he loses, how does a Rangers manager survive? A lot resting on those players' shoulders as well. They don't escape criticism for what's went before, and it's an opportunity for them to go out and put things right, or the start to putting things right. And of course, 2 big games in the Premiership as well. Kilmarnock travelling up to Dundee, and Dundee United going to Easter Road. Can they make it a really difficult afternoon for an already under pressure David Gray?
I'm looking forward to it, I've got to say. I'm excited for Motherwell fans. I passed by Fir Park this morning, Gordon. I think there's in the region of about 8,000 fans travelling to Hampden. They will fancy it because Rangers have come under a lot of pressure. The players, the managers, the supporters are not happy with what they're seeing on the pitch. So it's a massive day for Rangers to get to the final and obviously face Celtic, who were absolutely brilliant in the second half last night.
Yeah, we're about to get team news from Hampden, of course, but just briefly, we will delve into this in a bit more detail as the afternoon progresses. But Hugh, when we left last night, we were in the early stages of Celtic and Aberdeen. I think most people thought Celtic would progress, but most people also looked at Aberdeen and gave them a bit of credit and thought they could run them close, and my goodness, Brendan Rodgers' side were rampant.
Nobody saw that coming. And I include Jimmy Teelan among them, because he had the look of a shell-shocked man as well. Celtic were absolutely magnificent. Their best performance in a domestic match since they took 6 off St Johnstone in Perth, and a real return to form for the likes of Nicholas Kuhn, who was sensational, Kyogo, who got a goal after much talk about his misses, and Daizen Maeda, who ran riot. Nicky Devlin correctly has had all the praise in the world. He came into the Scotland squad. He had the game-saving challenge that got Scotland a draw against Portugal. He was outstanding against Rangers in midweek, and Daizen Maeda had his fun with him last night. 6-0, going on anything you like.
Yeah, they were terrific, and we saw intent right from the start. When we were just coming off air, you saw how Celtic were controlling the game, and look, Aberdeen looked to have a game plan that they knew well, in terms of having those two, quick wingers and when they got the ball, their intention was to break. However, unfortunately for them, they couldn't get the ball to break. Celtic were exceptional, and after they got the first goal, they just motored away. And Hugh's right to single out Maeda. We spotted it right away. He made a run in the blind side of Devlin just in the early stages, and we pointed it out that it's a nightmare to play against, because the fullback's always wondering, is he going to do it time and time again? Well, he did, and he got his reward from that. But they were exceptional. Aberdeen couldn't live with them. Celtic deservedly in the final.
I stood here yesterday and said I thought Celtic would win it comfortably, but I got it completely wrong. I didn't know how comfortable they were going to win with 6, and as Hugh quite rightly pointed out, could have been a lot more. I think it was just one step too far for Aberdeen. Look, they take a lot of praise, they've been brilliant, but he played the same team. Celtic had the luxury, Gordon, of 6 changes, which made their team stronger from their victory against Dundee. But you've still got to go out there and perform, and all credit to Celtic. I thought they were excellent.
The intriguing thing for me now, Gordon, is where do Aberdeen go from here? You have to give them the benefit of the doubt, because it was the first major bump in the road, and it certainly was a sizable bump in the road. But it's the next game that's important now, because Jimmy Tilleen was shocked, the Aberdeen players were shocked, but they met Celtic on the kind of day where no one in this country can live with them. So it's the next game for Aberdeen that's important.
We will look back on that one in a bit more detail. We know Celtic are through to the final, well through, but who will join them? Will it be Motherwell or will it be Rangers? Andrew McLean is at Hampden and has the teams.
Yeah, another big day at Hampden. A win for each of these sides would be massive for very different reasons. Motherwell hoping to make it to the League Cup final for the first time since 2017. They beat Rangers in the semi-finals that year. I'm sure many of you remember those 2 Louis Moult goals here at the National Stadium, which put them through to the final. They're looking to make a bit of history, while Rangers really fighting against this pressure that's continuing to build on the players and on Philippe Clement. We've heard the opinions of supporters over the last few days after that midweek defeat to Aberdeen. Many of them, they've already made up their minds about the future of the manager, what they think should happen with him. He cannot afford to lose this game today, surely, and supporters not only looking for that victory, but they need to see signs from this team that things are going in the right direction, a better display, better individual performances, and of course that positive scoreline as well. All that may give Motherwell a bit of positivity that they can really take advantage of Rangers today. For the team news, it's one change for Motherwell. Out goes Stephen O'Donnell, in comes Liam Gordon, who's not suspended in the League Cup, and with Stephen O'Donnell dropping out and Paul McGinn not available, it means that they're going to be captained by 18-year-old Lennon Miller. What a moment for the teenager. He'll be leading the team here out at the National Stadium in a cup semi-final. A huge moment for one of the best young talents, if not the best young talent in Scottish football. So it's going to be Aston Oxborough in goal for them today. The back 5, Marvin Coletta, Dan Casey, Liam Gordon, Kofi Balmer and Steve Seddon. The midfield 3, Andy Halliday, Lennon Miller and Ewan Wilson. The 2 up top, Tawanda Maswanhise and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos. The substitutes: Heggie, Vravkovsky, Sparrow, Robinson, Blaney, Katrombis, Ibiye, Watt and Jair Tavares. For Rangers, one change as well, just the one from that defeat to Aberdeen midweek. It's Narecio Casemiro that drops out of the starting lineup, and Jefty comes back into that left back role. So it's Jack Butland in goal, the back 4, James Tavernier, John Suter, Leon Balogun and Jefty. The 2 in midfield, Nicholas Raskin and Connor Barron, with Václav Černý, Nadim Barami out wide, Tom Lawrence in behind Cyril Dessers. The substitutes: Kelly, Proper, Diamandi, Dowell, Sterling, Casemiro, Igamani, Hadji and Danilo makes the bench as well. The referee for this one is Nick Walsh. The VAR is Alan Muir.
What jumps out, Mark, from that Rangers team? I think Václav Černý would be a welcome return, given everything that's going on.
Oh, no doubt about that. I mean, Černý has been a standout for Rangers this season. Hugh pointed him out in early weeks, but he does look like the one who can deliver, and he was a miss midweek, so he's going to be dangerous, obviously occupying that space in the right wing, coming in on his left. Same midfield, Barron, Raskin, Lawrence, so a bit of consistency in that regard. I always get drawn to the back line now for Rangers. Who starts? Tavernier obviously keeps his place. It's now a partnership, Suter Balogun, but with Jefty back in at left back, so much more forward thinking in that respect. But I think it's a team the Rangers fans probably would have expected, and probably close to their strongest lineup at the minute.
Is that fair, Hugh? I mean, still sort of bigger questions might exist around, you've signed Robin Proper, is he not good enough to play a cup semi-final, having not been good enough to play at Pittodrie? But that aside, is it is that about as close as Rangers fans can get to something that they are approaching happy with? I'm trying to pick my words carefully because I know they're not happy about much.
And you're right to do so, because every time we think, oh, that's a strong looking team, they then let the fans down. But I think the return of Václav Černý and Jefty are vitally important for Rangers. As I said at the start of the programme, Motherwell are underdogs and under strength. They have to feel the loss of Stephen O'Donnell and Paul McGinn at the back. The last time they beat Rangers, which is only last March, but McGinn and O'Donnell were part of that victory. So it's a Rangers team that looks as if they can get the job done with a bit to spare. But now they have to go and prove it, because the number of times that people have said that, including the Rangers supporters, and been let down, the number of times is what causes Clement to be under pressure today.
As for the Motherwell team, Gordon, the one headline is obvious. It's not so much about who plays, it's about who wears the captain's armband, and it's 18-year-old Lennon Miller. Yeah,
it's incredible, because I'm just looking down there as I was listening to Hugh talking there, and you see some real good experienced pros in there, but the managers decided to reward an 18-year-old to lead out the team today. It shows you how good this boy is. He leads by example on the pitch, Gordon, because this season he's been absolutely brilliant, and Motherwell will do very well to keep a hold of him by next season. I think the boy will go to bigger and better things. It's a big day for him. 18, he plays with maturity, he is a leader, he does it on the pitch, and I think he deserves it.
You know, having to patch up the defence to handle the absence of Paul McGinn and Stephen O'Donnell, they have three sort of more traditional centre backs, but I suppose, well, Mark will know more about this, you're losing that one that's actually a fullback by trade who comes and plays on the right side and then gives you a bit more of, you know, comfort on the ball or going forward. You lose that, but in Kofi Balmer you get a guy that can throw it from Torry Glen Asda into the Rangers box, so I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason he is in the team today.
Well, I think they've got to use every strength they possibly have today, because it will be difficult. I think most people will fancy Rangers to go through to the final. Look, Rangers will need to play a lot better than what they've been doing, but that team on paper should be enough to take care of Motherwell. They've got a back three, you're right. McGinn is a big miss, because McGinn can play that right centre back in a three, and if he has to go out and defend in wide areas where natural centre halves don't like being dragged out to, he's very comfortable. O'Donnell is a big miss going up and down that right hand side. Good experience as well.
And he was taking Paul McGinn's place because he was injured first, so it was Stephen O'Donnell that then went in there. So in a sense,
and he was the same being a right back.
You're down to your third choice option at that point.
Look, Motherwell have got a big squad. They've got a decent squad. It is a miss, because you're missing good experienced players, really good experienced players, but it's up to these lads to show a bit of strength today. There's plenty in there that can worry Rangers. It's what they do with the ball. They've got to make sure when they get the ball, they've got to be positive on it. They can't give it away cheaply, because if they just invite Rangers pressure, Rangers will eventually open them up.
See, just on that, I mean, I know what you're saying about McGinn and O'Donnell starting things in the back three and giving you that comfort to play out for the back, and it's great when you've got a full back playing that role, but today I wonder how much they'll look to build things at the back. I think in terms of watching Rangers and
go direct.
Look at Maswinisi, the pace you've got up there as well. Look where your better players are at the top end of the pitch, and if you can turn Rangers, you can quite clearly see you can get at them. So I think Motherwell will go down that route rather than try to suck Rangers in and play it for the back today.
The aim in cup semi-finals, Hugh, is quite simple. You can't overcomplicate it. You just try and win by hook or by crook and get yourself through to the final. But there clearly is a bigger picture here when it comes to Rangers. What does today mean for Philippe Clement?
It means everything, because in my estimation, if he loses this game today, he cannot remain as Rangers manager. The supporters will not stand for it. In my albeit considerable lifetime, I have seen three disastrous results. Rangers losing to Berwick Rangers in 1967, Graham Souness losing to Hamilton Accies in the Cup at Ibrox in 1987, and Pedro Caixinha making a laughing stock of the club by losing to Progress Nederkorn in the Europa League in 2017. Today, if Motherwell defeated Rangers at Hampden in a cup semi-final, that would join the Hall of Infamy, and it would be proof to the Rangers fans that Philippe Clement can't do the job. And How John Gilligan, the interim chairman, kept him in office after that, I would not pretend to know, because if Rangers lose today, the Ibrox support simply will not stand for it anymore, and no club as big as Rangers survives in defiance of the fans.
Oh, wouldn't it be as big a shock as those results?
When
you look at the league table, they're 3 points behind in the league.
You're dramatising this.
So
Would it be the same?
I get the pressure would come, and I totally agree with the statement that how can he survive in his job, but you've got to look at where both teams are at the minute, take them on what we've seen so far. Yes, of course Rangers should win with the team they've got, the money they spend. We always talk about budgets, but if you're talking about form and league form, there is 3 points separating these teams.
So just going to say, we're all clear, everybody keeps saying this, are we certain on that? Do you all think Philippe Clement's last stand is today if he can't win this game?
I think I've been looking at social media, and a lot of fans, Rangers fans, are saying, you're talking nonsense. If he lost today, he wouldn't be sacked. I would find that very hard. I totally agree with. I think the majority of fans have already turned against the Rangers manager, but can he turn it around? Yes, he can. He can get to a cup final. He's got a few big weeks coming up, start winning. He's got a lot of work to do to turn it around and convince the Rangers fans he is the right man to go forward. He can certainly do that, but if he do lose this semi-final today, I don't see any way he can stay in office.
With respect to Motherwell are only that close to Rangers because Rangers shed points. They're 9 points behind Celtic and Aberdeen. They're beside Motherwell because they're bad.
Well, but Motherwell have won 5 games this season as well, so both can be true. Motherwell have done reasonably well, so the point is they will carry a threat, or should carry some sort of threat to Rangers today. It's not going to be like a David versus Goliath. But yes, going back to your other point, if Philippe Clement loses today, I can't see how he stays as the Rangers manager. Now, I said the other day, even if he wins today, a narrow win, I still think the pressure is there. I still think there'll be conversations being had above his head. And where do we go from here? And is this just papering over the cracks? So he's found himself in a really tough situation where he'll need win after win after win, and then improving the performances within that if he's going to turn this around. I don't think a win today followed by another win followed by a defeat or another poor result is going to save him. It's just prolonging time.
Because also, again, usually you'd be slightly willing to abandon performance on a cup semi-final when you just get through, but I do feel like the Rangers fans, yes, they would obviously take getting through to the final, but if they were to struggle to it again, I don't think then anything lifts off Philippe Clement, does it?
Rangers fans, they've been on this show in numbers talking about how boring the football is. They don't know the style they play, everything about it. Today, for me, first and foremost, for a manager, he's got to get into the final. It's as simple as that. Look, Rangers fans demand, performances. They'll be looking for a performance. He's got players there that have been brought in decent money. He's spent a few quid in the summer. He's been backed. He's got four of his own players in. The rest that start today were there previously. But he's got to start getting better performances as well. Rangers fans are turning off to this, and if he doesn't watch what he's doing, and he's also, for me, the most important thing is he's got to sit back and take a deep breath before he comes out and starts talking, because he's actually getting himself into a lot of problems. He's talking absolute nonsense that the fans are not buying into at all, and he comes under a lot of criticism for that. But first and foremost today, it's about getting to a final.
We'll find out in half an hour if it's true, but the suggestion is that Rangers have not sold their full ticket allocation for this match, a National Cup semi-final. If Rangers haven't sold out their full allocation, then it is a surefire indication that the supporters have lost faith in the team while it is managed by Philippe Clement. Now, if Rangers fail to make the final today, then they will give up the only trophy that's in the cabinet at Ibrox. How many blows to their dignity will the fans allow the manager to go under?
Let's hear from both managers then heading into this one. Stuart Kettlewell,
Listen, I believe we're punching above our weight. We've played them earlier in the season before the kind of mass hysteria, and I believe there was an opportunity to try and win the game of football. I don't see a greater opportunity than any time that we've played them before. And again, contrary to what a lot of people think, for Motherwell to try and progress in this competition, I believe would be a huge upset. I think Rangers would be massive favourites, but we don't tell ourselves that. We don't think along those terms.
It's a team with a manager who wants to play really clearly in their formation with 5 in the back, changing a little bit with 1 or 2 strikers who play offensive, who create every game quite some chances, sometimes a lot of chances, but concede also in a way. So we need to play like we did in the first game. A well-structured game by creating the chances and not giving away too much or nothing. That's the aim always. But we need to play a better game than we played at Hampden. That was totally the start. I expect to see a better Rangers than we did in that game.
Well, the scene is set at Hampden. We've already given you team news, interesting team news from both sides. Lennon Miller captaining Motherwell, Václav Černý back in, as is Jefty for Rangers. Of course, we will go back to the National Stadium ahead of kick-off, but after these we're going to look back on semi-final number 1, Celtic through, and with a bit of style as well. We'll do that next.
Purina One, visible health for today and tomorrow. When a cat is healthy, you can see it on the outside, but do you know what makes them look healthy on the inside? It's your cat's gut microbiome, a dynamic ecosystem of trillions of microorganisms. Purina One by Fences balances the bad and good bacteria to help support their gut microbiome. Search today for Purina One's Blue Pack online and in store.
With 3, you can get 9 months half price on a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra powered by Galaxy AI. Available with unlimited data from £44.50 a month for the first 9 months, plus annual price rises and £50 up front on our value plan. Search 3 or head in-store today. Life needs a big network.
24-month airtime plan. 36-month device plan. From £60 a month from month 10. Price rises each April by £1.50.
Hundreds of dull presentations are made every second. That's another 100. And another. Dull, dull, dull. Oh, this radio ad is becoming dull too. If only Canva did radio ads, then this ad would be designed to be engaging, exciting, and full of creativity. Just like their gorgeous presentations. Oh, so visual documents and piece of cake videos. But they don't. Canva. Design against dull.
It's time to get the ball rolling on another Terry's chocolate flavour.
Ooh, I've always wondered what a chocolate orange would taste like without the orange.
A Terry's chocolatey chocolate?
Or a Terry's orangeless orange.
Ooh, a chocolate orange without the orange is one of life's great mysteries. I suppose it would taste like,
milk chocolate.
Oh, that's ballsy. New Terry's chocolate milk ball. Deliciously unsquare.
Action as it happens. And your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hugh Keevins, Mark Wilson and Gordon Dalziel are in the studio building up to kick-off at Hampden for Motherwell against Rangers in the League Cup semi-final. We've already given you the team news, and of course we will go back there in the not too distant future. Whoever does win will meet Celtic. Hugh, who got there in quite some style, you have to say, last night.
Yeah, a magnificent performance. In midweek, Brendan Rodgers rested 6 players, and you could see the value of that when they were all reintroduced against Aberdeen. As I say, the important thing now is to find out, did Aberdeen catch Celtic on one of their brilliant nights, or are Aberdeen going to recover from that and go back to challenging Celtic for the title? We'll find out very, very soon, but it was everything that Brendan Rodgers wants Celtic to be. He complained that they were perhaps not quick enough for him first half, but they were still 3 up by half time, so it was a performance that Aberdeen could not live with, and that could turn out to be a worry for them in terms of the league, and a worry for Rangers in terms of the league, because when Celtic are like that, no one can get anywhere near them, that can't live with them. Whoever wins this semi-final today, I know the final's not until December 15, which is a few weeks away, but if Celtic plays like that in the final, if you were a Rangers fan or a Motherwell fan, you would go there in trepidation.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, we've done this stance many times. Celtic should win every domestic game. They certainly would be favourites. I was going to say, that you would expect them to beat Aberdeen anyway, even if Aberdeen are level on points with them at the top. So what you're then looking for is, can you do it with that real distance and showing the best version of yourself and showing exactly how good you are at certain things and winning so convincingly? And they clearly ticked all of those boxes, didn't they?
Oh yeah, I thought they were outstanding, and I think it'll be eye-catching. The goals they scored were pleasing on the eye, and especially Kuhn's, but Maeda's couple of goals he scores, and Kyogo went off the bar as well. But what really impressed me was early on in the game, and we were here watching it, was how they pressed as a team. Now, I spoke about Aberdeen having those quick wingers, and if you give up possession, you give the opposition time, they can pick passes through you. But you see how quickly Celtic pressed as a team. You have these guys worth £11 million, and you think, it's all for flair and all the exciting stuff. They do the dirty side of the game well, and in the opening stages they got that spot on, suffocated Aberdeen, didn't let them out, and then obviously when the goal comes from Carter Vickers and they get another quick one after that, then they're out of sight, and you start playing with confidence. You see some of the goals, was it the 5th or the 6th one, where Bernardo's flick and Johnson on the underlap and it's squared across. That all comes with just confidence building throughout the game. But they were terrific, and especially Maeda. When you've got a player like him, he adds so much to the team. Again, out of possession, that you get yourself an opportunities in spaces that you end up creating goals. So I think he was right. It was a reflection of everything that Brendan Rodgers wants in his side. I know he was unhappy in the opening stages, but once they got the first couple of goals, they were unstoppable. Aberdeen will come again. Aberdeen will, I think, keep the pace for a good while, but they'll find it hard if they come up against Celtic in the league when they play like that.
When they scored 6 against St Johnstone, everyone said, it's only St Johnstone. But when you do it to Aberdeen, who have had a flawless season up until now, then I think it deserves to be considered in the same way as the win at St Johnstone that night. I said that it was a masterclass of coordination, imagination, penetration. And that was Celtic last night. The same performance, the same result at the end of the day. And when they play like that, you'd be as well not bothering turning up.
I felt a little bit for Aberdeen. I think it was a hard decision for a manager. They were brilliant against Rangers in midweek. They put so much effort into it, the atmosphere, the adrenaline, everything. And you're thinking, look, if he was playing anybody else on Saturday, he would have made a few changes, he would have freshened it up. He didn't go with that. He decided, no, I'll go with the same guys. But Celtic had made the 6 changes. The quality that they've got at their disposal, they're bringing in, makes the team stronger and better. And they just looked a yard sharper than Aberdeen for a full game. I've seen most of it in the second half because I was travelling from here. I thought they were absolutely unstoppable.
I
great
think
football.
Too much has been made of that change and chopping and changing. Aberdeen made subs on Wednesday night. Guys like Duncan and that came off, so they were only playing 90 minutes. I get it that they were playing at a high intensity in that game, but we're only in November. It's not as if we're at the end of the season. So I get that Celtic freshen things up, but I think the feel-good factor around Aberdeen when they're playing and they're winning every game just carries you on to the next game. And I think guys like Devlin and that would have felt supremely confident going into that game, thinking, brilliant, I've never felt better in my life. The problem is when you come up against opposition that are just on the ball like Celtic and you can't get near them, then that was the difference for me. I don't believe that Aberdeen were tired in comparison to Celtic.
Brendan Rodgers, there's an edge to him at the moment. When they drew 2-2 with Aberdeen in the league at Celtic Park, he came out afterward and said the team lacked aggression, they lacked passion and whatever else he said. They were passive. That was the word they used. They were passive. And last night, even though they were well ahead, clearly in the final with half an hour to spare, he was still an angry man, and had his now comical outburst where he aimed the kick at the ball and slipped on the ground. there's an edge to him. I think he was annoyed by losing a 2-goal lead to Aberdeen at Celtic Park, and he wanted retribution.
I think when you're going to put a performance like that, it takes big performances then from individuals, and you could probably go through them all, couldn't you? I mean, it seems weird to not start with Maeda when he scores a hat-trick, but lots of people saying they felt Reo Hatate was back to his best. You look at a man reborn over the summer, Nicholas Kuhn, some really big performances.
Oh, terrific. Obviously you talk about the hat-trick hero. I thought that probably Devlin's not had a harder game all season, and Devlin's been absolutely brilliant for Aberdeen, but Maeda just caused him all sorts of problems. His timing, his run, the pace that he can go at. You're right, Hatate in the middle of the park again, terrific ball player. He's fantastic, and the one thing I think will please Celtic fans more than anything, Nicholas Kuhn looks world class at times, I've got to say. He's been absolutely sensational, and last night he's playing with so much confidence. Even his goal's terrific. He's been brilliant this season, but I thought Celtic overall in the second half, the confidence of the 3-0 lead, they kept going. They never come off the pace of the game. Brendan Rodgers, as Hugh quite rightly points out, demanded that. I thought Aberdeen were lucky to get out of Hampden 6.
I also think that he's made his mind up. He's going to give Carter Vickers and Trusty a run. I think he fancies that partnership. It's unfortunate for Liam Scales, as it's unfortunate for Greg Taylor that Alex Valle appears to be the manager's favourite in that position. But that is what happens when you have a squad as rich in choice as that one has for Brendan Rodgers. But I think he fancies Carter Vickers and Trusty.
I thought, just going back to Kuhn, I thought his part in the third goal, his goal is exceptional. But if you probably watch one of Celtic's training routines in terms of Kuhn coming in and playing it inside a fullback and Maeda timing his run, it was absolutely perfect. And Maeda, how he times that and gets in the blind side of fullback, it's hard to do, because probably majority of the time you don't get that ball, but it is so well weighted. But he's involved in everything at the minute. Nicholas Kuhn, a player, like you say, reborn, a real, thorn in anybody's side. And he's in the running for Player of the Year already.
They've got one man that just lights up when he goes to Hampden. We spoke about him yesterday, about the Saturday missed midweek against Dundee. But he just seems to have this knack. When he goes to Hampden, the big games, Kyogo, he always finds the back of the net.
At some point we'll need to phone the Austrian journalist back who came on here and thought that Nicholas Kuhn wouldn't be a good signing for Celtic. I mean, you win some, you lose some, I guess. The guy he'll have blocked us on
the Austrian
Twitter,
Hugh Keevins.
Twitter a long time ago.
I don't think that even Celtic thought that Nicholas Kuhn would turn out to be the way he is. He's shaping up. Everyone, it's a regrettable thing, but we are in a small country and we are susceptible to huge transfer offers. But everyone's, spoke about Hatate would fetch this amount of money and whoever, but we're coming round to Nicholas Kuhn here. He might be the first pick.
Let's hear from Brendan Rodgers then.
Obviously a brilliant result and outstanding performance against an Aberdeen team that have been so good this season in the league, and we knew how tough it was going to be, so we knew we had to be really, really good today in a lot of our game. I think it's a massive credit to the players, their mentality and how ruthless they were in the game. So yeah, it was a really good one. If you let Aberdeen play, then they have the quality to score goals. I think we've seen that all season, and none more so only a few weeks ago. But it's about learning, and you can see that we'd learnt from that if you give them time, they can play. They get really gifted technical players, so we had to control that. I thought our counter pressing was really, really good, got us the ball back a lot, and then especially second half we passed the ball much faster, good numbers on the inside, moved the ball around really, really well, and scored some outstanding goals. This suits our game here at Hampden. The pitch is beautiful, it was nice and slick for us, and the quicker you can move the ball, the faster the opponent has to move, and then eventually you hopefully can tire the opponent out. And I felt that sometimes we needed to put more speed on our pass. But no, I think we were good in the first half, but I thought we were outstanding second half.
And now the big question is, how does that form that Celtic showed last night impact on Tuesday night? Bonfire night. RB Leipzig, Champions League, Celtic Park. The last time Celtic scored 6 in a domestic match, they then lost 7 to Borussia Dortmund in the next one. That won't happen this time, but this game at Celtic Park could be absolutely crucial to Celtic's hopes of going into the next phase of the competition. They've got 4 points, and if they were to win at home against RB Leipzig, they have 1 foot in the next stage of the Champions League, and they must be tremendously encouraged by the way they played.
So a convincing win for Celtic yesterday. We will go back to Hampden very soon and find out the latest ahead of Motherwell against the Rangers. We do have 2 Premiership games today as well, so let's give you some quick team news from them. Starting at Dens, Dundee against Kilmarnock, Dave Galloway, and you've got a delay to kick off there as well, Dave.
Yeah, that's right, Gordon. It'll be a 3:15 kick-off here, Gordon. I'm told the delay is due to someone taking ill in the stadium a short while ago, so all the very best wishes to them. Of course, just last month, these 2 teams served up a 5-goal thriller here. Dundee led 2-0 with 85 minutes on the clock, but Kilmarnock staged a stunning comeback to win 3-2 with a 94th minute goal. Hopefully we will see another entertaining encounter. Looking at the teams then, and a couple of changes for Dundee. In come Palmer Holden and Adewumi. Out drop Mulligan and Finn Robertson. So it's John McCracken in goals, a back 3 of Ryan Astley, Antonio Portales and Clark Robertson. The wing backs Ethan Ingram and Zayed Larkesh. In midfield, Lyle Cameron, Mo Silla and Oluwasian Adewumi. Up top, Seb Palmer Holden and Simon Murray. The D's subs are Sharp, McGee, Tiffany, Mulligan, Main, Finn Robertson, Kumetio, Braybrook and Vetro. As for Kilmarnock, well, a couple of changes for them also. Finlay and Anderson replace Wright and Watkins. So Robbie McCrory in goals then. Across the back, Lewis Mayo, Stuart Finlay, Robbie Dees and Corey Ndaba. Midfield, Danny Armstrong, Brad Lyons, David Watson and Matty Kennedy. Up front, Kyle Vassell and Bruce Anderson. The Killie subs today: O'Hara, Burrows, Wright, Mackenzie, Mackay Stephen and Murray, Cameron, Donnelly and Wales. Your match referee is Dan McFarlane, and on VAR, John Beaton.
And the second Premiership offering today, Hibs-Dundee United, Lana Mackay's at Easter Road.
Good afternoon from Easter Road. Well, Gordon, if the last meeting between these two is anything to go by, we could be in for a cracker today. Memories of that late capitulation at Tannadice just a fortnight ago will still be fresh in the minds of the Hibs fans. David Gray's side, of course, conceded those 2 stoppage time goals to lose 3-2 after they were 2-1 up. And it's been a pretty awful start to the season for Hibs. Bottom of the table, just 1 league win from 10. They've actually lost half of their games so far. And after a draw in last Sunday's Edinburgh derby, the Hibees came back from Dingwall in midweek with a point and a clean sheet. Gray says he'll be taking those as positives, but they have got to start putting their chances away. 3 points today would give the Hibees a desperately needed lift. As for Dundee United, well, they've had a pretty decent start to their top flight return. They sit 5th in the table, but they come into this off the back of narrow defeats to Motherwell and Aberdeen this week. United haven't lost this fixture since Boxing Day 2021, and they're unbeaten in 4 visits to Easter Road. Both sides eager to get back to winning ways today. Will Dundee United do the double over Hibs, or will the Hibees finally spark their season into life? Team news then, David Gray names just the 1 change after his side's 0-0 draw with Ross County. Kwon comes in for Ellie Yuan. Dwight Gale and Chris Cadden haven't been deemed fit enough to make the squad. It'll be Joseph Bursick in goal, a back 4 of Lewis Miller, Marvin Ekpiteta, Warren O'Hora and Jordan Obita. In midfield, Kwon, Nectar Triantis and Joe Newell, and then Martin Boyle and Junior Hoylett in behind Nikola Kurakarovic. Substitutes: Smith, Levitt, Ewan, Iredale, McCurdy, Nicky Cadden, Campbell, Bushiri and Molotnikov. Jim Goodwin makes just the 1 change as well after his side's 2-1 defeat to Motherwell. Ryan Strain comes in with Christian Trapanovsky dropping to the bench. It'll be Jack Walton in goal, a back 3 of Emmanuel Adeboyega, Declan Gallagher and Kevin Holt, Ryan Strain and Will Ferry as the wing-backs. Vishko Chevelle and David Babunski in the middle, and Lucas Stevenson and Glenn Middleton in behind Sam Dolby, who leads the line. Substitutes: Richard, Trabanovsky, Odada, Fotheringham, Van der Sand, Thompson, Constable, Sturton and Mishak. The referee is Colin Stephen, and it'll be Greg Aitken on VAR.
That's your Premiership offering, but for many of you it's all about the League Cup semi-finals today. Motherwell and Rangers. We go back to Hampden next.
The team with the biggest support in Glasgow and the West. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Not long to go until kick-off at Hampden. Let's go back there and get the latest from Andrew McLean. Andrew, a bit of speculation in the studio about Rangers ticket numbers. How are things looking there?
Yeah, always hard to tell when there's still 15 minutes or so, just less than that to go until kick-off, but certainly it looks as if Rangers haven't sold out their full allocation for this game. If I look across to my right, where the divide is between the Motherwell supporters and the Rangers supporters, there are huge big gaps, basically big sections that there are, maybe 20, 30 people in at the moment, and they will fill up to a certain extent, but there is no way that those sections will be full come 3 o'clock. So certainly supporters look as if they're voting with their feet today. We've seen the reaction from supporters, we've heard it on the phones. I was covering the game away at Rugby Park where Rangers lost to Kilmarnock. The players tried to go over and applaud the fans at the end, and the supporters were basically just telling the players to go away. They wanted them to go down the tunnel and get away from them, because they just weren't happy with what they've been seeing from this team. And that is huge for a cup semi-final at Hampden, at the National Stadium, in the city that this team play in. For Rangers, a club the size of Rangers, not to sell out their allocation. In previous years you would have thought that Rangers would have been able to sell out this allocation many times over, but clearly there's a lot of discontent amongst the supporters, and certainly showing it in the numbers that are showing up here to Hampden today.
It's a bit of a cliche, Gordon, because we say it pretty much before every game of football, no matter what the circumstances, but I do feel like in days like this it just becomes much more relevant. Surely, at the very least, the Rangers players can attempt to start quick and show they've got a point to prove. I mean, I think back to Steaua Bucharest, that came on the back of Kilmarnock, and that's what everyone commented. It kind of looked like, they knew it with the way they came out, and Philippe Clement said it after, they had something to prove. Now over the piece, you're just not going to be able to act that way every game, but this must be one of those where they can show some sort of spark.
I think the manager will be trying to demand that in the dressing room before they leave to get to the pitch, Gordon. It's interesting, Andrew, talking there about Rangers supporters not selling out their allocation because they've turned off. It's that boring of football to go and watch. The Rangers fans have totally turned off, and Clement has to be careful, and so does the club. That's why they need a big result today with a big performance. They've got a lot of important games coming up, so he's got to get them out there. They've got to start on the front foot. You see Celtic last night, the quality that they had. They just went and pressed Aberdeen and really put Aberdeen behind the black ball. But Rangers have got to do the same today at Motherwell. They're the favourites. They've got a decent team out there, good players. They've got to go out and show and play a good tempo. If they do that, I think they'll have enough in their tank to win this and obviously face Celtic in the final in December.
And I'll tell you what, Hugh, I'm not happy because you get a 50-50 split of the ticket money in the semi-final. So if Rangers haven't sold their tickets, that means less money for Motherwell to get off the back of it. But there's clearly a reason if there are more empty seats than normal.
Yeah, this is the fundamental reason why the Clement situation cannot be allowed to get any worse. When thousands of Rangers supporters do not turn up for a National Cup semi-final, you know you have trouble on your hands, and that cannot be allowed to exacerbate, because you get to a situation where they say, well, I won't buy a season ticket either. At that point, you have to take action or else.
Yeah, it's troubling times, and it makes a mockery of all the moans and groans you hear from fans when smaller clubs come to Hampden and they demand the bigger section and they can't sell out, their own supply of tickets. So that is problems. That's problems that goes upstairs. And I was saying earlier on, there must be discussions already between John Gilligan and the board. Where do they go next? But this probably highlights it when you see it, and they're sitting there in Hampden in their seats and they look around to the left and they're seeing a whole patch of empty seats. When you really know how the fans feel.
See, when you get this though, as we alluded to earlier, it will not change. Rangers are still big favourites. people can bang on about Rangers form all they want. You know, there is a food chain, a pecking order, call it what you want, budgets, etc. So Rangers been big favourites. Seeing a game like this, Mark, where you've been on both sides, does it really all sort of come down to whether Rangers can manage to play the game on their terms and how early they can implement that?
It certainly does. I mean, as an opposition and a small team from Motherwell, when I was there at Dundee United against Celtic, it was all about making it difficult for a very good Celtic team. That, you know, going back to my experiences and trying to get in a phrase. However, if they've got better players and they move the ball quick, like Brendan Rodgers was saying earlier, it's very difficult for you to live. Wait, so that's the task that sits in front of the Rangers players. Starting quick, moving the ball. What's that look like? Move the ball quick, getting players forward, into forward areas, into goal scoring positions. Touched on the point early in the Aberdeen game when Casemiro and Barami got in the wings 7 minutes in. There's no Rangers striker or attacking midfielder anywhere in the box. That needs to be the opposite today. When they go forward, they need to show real intent early in the game to pin Motherwell back. And I'm sure Clement will be in the dressing room trying to get across that message verbally, because it was so, you know, visual the other night that it just wasn't there. So that's what's up to the players. As soon as they go across the white line, they need to show that they have the running power and the will to get forward to make it difficult for Motherwell.
Well, we're nearly there. Kick-off at Hampden for Motherwell against Rangers is coming next.
The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
2.5 minutes to go at Hampden. Let's cross back to the National Stadium and speak to Andrew McLean.
Yeah, just waiting for the teams to come out the tunnel here at Hampden Park. This one billed as a must-win for Rangers, but that's probably been said a few times in recent weeks. Away to Kilmarnock a couple of weeks ago, they lost that game. Away to Aberdeen in midweek, they lost that game as well. Philip Clement survived those, but surely big question marks will be hanging over his head if he cannot get the job done today. The football hasn't been great. The negativity just keeps on building around him, around the players, around the club in general. It's huge for Rangers that they get through to the final of this competition. Of course, a competition where it started out so well for Philip Clement in his Rangers career. Came in last year, won this as his first trophy, his only trophy to date. There were real positive signs, but they've fallen back into that same cycle that they've had over the last few years. And today, up against a Motherwell side who will have confidence, they'll have belief that not only, you know, looking at Rangers and seeing what's happening there, but they can look at themselves and they can see that they've had a strong start to the campaign. They're going well in the league, and just watching 18-year-old Lennon Miller leading the team out as well, I can see him waving to the stands. Some friends and family will be in there. What a moment it is for the teenager. Steve Clark in attendance today as well, and he'll surely have a keen eye on the 18-year-old with a captain's armband on. And yes, Paul McGinn, Stephen O'Donnell not available, the captain and vice-captain, but it's not just a token gesture from Stuart Kettlewell giving Lennon Miller the armband. When you watch Motherwell, he is a real leader in that team. He is the type of character that can take the game by the scruff of the neck and looks well beyond 18 when you see him playing on the pitch. So a huge moment for him, a huge moment for Motherwell and their supporters. Over to the right, they've got the pyro on the go. Over to my left, the pyrotechnics from the Rangers supporters as well. Red, white and blue. Hopefully the smoke won't gather like it did for the game yesterday, causing what was it, a 10-15 minute delay to proceedings ahead of that Celtic win against Aberdeen at Hampden. It looks as if it is blowing out the stadium at the moment, but I will keep you updated on that. The players just breaking away at the moment, and we'll get the official team photos. James Tavernier and Lennon Miller over speaking to referee Nick Walsh for the coin toss. James Tavernier, of course, has been here so many times as a captain, Rangers captain, in semi-finals and finals, and across from him it's a player experiencing it for the very first time in Lennon Miller. Taking a look at the teams, just the one change for Motherwell. Stephen O'Donnell drops out and in comes Liam Gordon, so Aston Oxborough in goal for them. The back five, Marvin Coletta, Dan Casey, Liam Gordon, Kofi Bammer and Steve Seddon. The midfield three, Andy Halliday, Lennon Miller and Ewan Wilson. Tawanda Maswinhisi partners Apostolos Stamatolopoulos up front. The substitutes: Heggie, Bravkovsky, Sparrow, Robinson, Blaney, Katrumbis, Ibiye, Watt and Tavares. Rangers make 2 changes from that midweek defeat to Aberdeen. Casemiro and McCausland drop out. Jefty and Czerny come in. So Jack Butland in goal for them. James Tavernier, John Suter, Leon Balogun and Jefty are the back four. The 2 holding midfielders, Nicholas Raskin and Connor Barron, is in Václav Czerny, Tom Lawrence and Nedim Bayrami in behind Cyril Dessos. The substitutes: Kelly, Proper, Diamandi, Dowell, Sterling, Casemiro, Egamani, Hadji and Danilo. The referee is Nick Walsh. The VAR is Alan Muir, and I would imagine there might be a slight delay now to proceedings because Tom Lawrence is standing over the ball, but the smoke that was coming from both ends of the stands at Hampden, from the Rangers fans and the Motherwell fans, is now descending on to the pitch. I'm sure the TV pictures will show it as well, but here from this high level on the commentary gantry at Hampden, it is quite tough to see the pitch at the moment. The lights are shining down and Nick Walsh just making his way over to the 4th official, Ross Hardy. They'll have a bit of a discussion and I think there may be a slight delay to proceedings, but hopefully we'll get underway soon at Hampden.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Planning your holiday? Get essential health advice and medication before you travel.
Well, we'd have to go some to have as long a delay as yesterday, Hugh. Let's hope it's a bit breezier at Hampden this afternoon and the smoke lifts and blows away. No one seems too concerned yet. Nick Walsh is smiling, Stuart Kettlewell smiling, security staff from Hampden in amongst there with Philippe Clement as well. There are thumbs up and nods of the head, so but they all look fairly understanding.
It is becoming tiresome now. We have to let the Waynes play with their toys before a game can start now.
It's part of it, Hugh. It's excitement. It's part of it.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
A 13-minute delay. Just as well that Celtic played as well as they did, and people spoke about the football match rather than the Waynes and their toys. But here we go again.
I get you. I agree with you. Totally.
Nonsense.
There must be something about this weekend as well, like the weather. We said it last night, because usually it does just lift, but again Andrew McLean's saying it doesn't look like it will anytime soon.
Get the sports scientists to do the warm-up again.
They might have to get the stretches done and all the rest of it.
How does this affect Andy Halliday's Barnet?
I hope it doesn't go on fire.
Disintegrate.
If it goes on fire, this game's cancelled.
Let's get a bit of that spray on top.
Yeah,
just to keep it glued in.
He might be combustible.
Oh, brilliant. Big day for Andy, I've got to say. Big day for everyone concerned at Motherwell. As I said, the excitement in the town this morning, Gordon, was incredible. I went by Fir Park just to wave to the supporters and wish them all the very, very best.
Were they all there?
Yeah.
Waiting for the bus to leave?
Yeah, oh, there are thousands of them.
I told you I don't even live there anymore, but I made a point of going over this morning.
Did you? Just to see the bus
just to ground myself in the local area, just get a wee flavour for what was going on.
I've got to say, right, it's just my sense of humour and it's poor, but there was a crowd standing, young boys and stuff like that with their scarves on. I put the window down, shouting, "Come on, the Rangers!" They weren't too pleased, let me tell you. I thought, they're all thinking it's got to be 2-0.
You know what? They'll recognise the Reggie plate now, won't they?
Can't miss him with the private Reggie now. Anyway, we are, I think, about to start. A mere 4 minutes, nothing compared to last night. Nick Walsh checks the watch. Tom Lawrence, the man standing over the ball, just some final checks. Why don't you three give us your predictions then? You all predicted Celtic to go through last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
Fine, I'll give you some reluctant credit on that, but you were all miles off. Who was closest on the score?
Well, I said Celtic would win comfortable. 3-1, I bet.
Okay. Anyway, what about today's prediction?
Underdogs 0, under pressure 3.
3-0.
3-0 Rangers.
I'll go 2-1 Rangers.
I'm going to go, I think I'll go to extra time. And
seriously?
Yeah, I think this will go all the way.
And then what?
Then we'll have an extra 30 minutes. I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to go Motherwell to win.
Motherwell to progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's changed your mind from yesterday when you said Rangers would win?
I didn't say Rangers would win. I said
Rangers in the town this morning.
I said yesterday Rangers.
I said Rangers were the favourites. I said that. But I've just got a sneaky Motherwell could. if they can defend properly today.
Find a recording from yesterday saying Rangers will go through.
I don't think a man's allowed to change his mind. He's been
100%.
taken in by the atmosphere in the town this morning.
Those 5 supporters with the scars.
Try to keep in with them
so they don't trash his car or rip his private registration off. We are underway at Hampden, about 5 minutes later than advertised, but Motherwell 0, Rangers 0. Obviously nothing to tell you about yet. Very, very early stages, and this is where you sometimes just get a feeling of how the game is going to pan out, or what the game plans look like. Rangers are quite a direct team these days, so they went direct straight from kick-off, but it was just really straight onto the head of Liam Gordon, and the first slack pass from Rangers goes to Lennon Miller, but then he gives it away and allows Rangers to come galloping forward.
Well, played through the middle at the minute, Barron charging, Tavernier supporting, and I think that area is going to be so important. It's so important in any game, but you look at Barron and Raskin, they look okay together with Lawrence in front, and you look at Halliday, Miller and Wilson. Halliday and Miller especially. Halliday with experience, Miller is the flavour of the month at the minute. It's going to be a battle in there. Who gets the best of that?
I was looking, Hugh, at the Ewan Wilson there who got involved. Understandably, it's hard to outshine Lennon Miller, but you almost feel a bit for Ewan Wilson, who is similarly young, a touch older, and played for Beath Juniors last season on loan. He's now in the Motherwell team every week, in the Scotland under-21s, sometimes at left back, sometimes in central midfield in a cup semi-final against Rangers. That's a really remarkable story, just overshadowed by Lennon Miller.
It's a nice trend within the game now, because we had Keelan Adams yesterday scoring for Falkirk. What was it, Cumbernauld Colts he was with?
Signed from Cumbernauld Colts,
so Macbeth at Thistle as well.
Arthurley, was it?
That's something that we want to see more and more of. But whoever is playing, Rangers understand that they can't allow a build-up of tension. They have to get a goal as quickly as possible.
Tell you what, brilliant defending from Marvin Caletta. Just strength to just get in front of Barami, turn away, then drive with it.
That'll be a good battle today. I've got to say, he'll need to be on his toes. He done brilliantly there, as you said, Gordon. Good defending. Barami was shining light at Pittodrie with a terrific individual goal, you've got to say, and then for some reason was subbed. So the wide areas are going to be really important. I know Mark touched on the midfield. Everybody always talks about the Midley Park, who wins the battle, but I think there's a lot of flair in the wide areas here today.
Direct ball to Václav Černý. This is exactly what happened when the sides met at Hampden in the league. He cut in and smashed one into the corner. He goes on the outside.
Great defending
Dan Casey, I think.
Sorry.
Kind of similar in there. Jeffty's going to bring it back in all the way through to Černý. Just thinking about that goal that he scored at Hampden, kind of unfair really. You get to a cup game and Rangers have got home advantage, isn't it?
Well, I was thinking that. Yeah, Matt is a great point. They know how they played there at the beginning of the season. That was their home.
If you'd paid £670,000 for the privilege, you'd be.
This is nothing. When Dundee United faced them in the semi-final, it was at Ibrox. I was still beating them then.
Was that Nadir Chifchi Day?
Nadir Chifchi Day, yeah.
He celebrated before the ball was even in the back of the net.
Right. What a game that was.
You're still hoping that he makes it, don't you, Celtic?
Listen, Mark's got him signed for Celtic.
He'll be back one day.
Tell me he's playing the fives. Masters. The Masters.
By the way, that would have been a great shout.
Yeah.
We'd have got some drama from him.
As Rangers just kick the ball straight out the pitch.
Very slack from James. I think I'm playing well this season, Tavernier, and that was cruel. I know that sounded like a dig, but that's how the Rangers fans have taken that comment the other night, Gordon. They don't seem convinced.
No, I think he's got his doubters this season. I don't agree with him. I think he's probably had one of the worst starts to the season since he joined Rangers. I think he's been terrific servant for Rangers. But I don't know what Motherwell are thinking there.
They've got away with it. I can see exactly what they're thinking. They just didn't pull it off. So you've got Kofi Balmer, who's got such a long throw, and then most people then expect you to throw it in the box. He's tried to almost switch the play with a long throw, which allowed Rangers to nick it and go 2-on-1. But the pass was poor, and Motherwell survived for now. That was almost an absolute disaster.
That's one that I think they would have worked on and looked to get out the other side. However, I don't think Casey is switched onto it. It should have been so much worse. Could be now. They've still lost possession. Here comes Tierney.
Cut inside, shoot.
Yeah, it usually does. Oxford a spills.
Yeah,
headed away for a corner.
But listen, they recovered. They've got a slight problem, Motherwell, and I think they've got to adjust. They look like they're playing a sort of a diamond in the middle of the park. They've done that against Celtic. Now Andy Halliday, our own Andy Halliday, he's got to get out to a left back. Jeffty's getting too much space in the left back area, and it's not his natural job. He doesn't like doing it, and I don't blame him. But if he's in there for a reason, he has to get out and close that down.
Yeah, Motherwell making life difficult for themselves as the corner comes in. You would fancy the big centre backs to deal with a few of those in case he does. Danger averted eventually. Back post and a goal kick.
Oxford, I think, has been outstanding for Motherwell this season, but he made a hash of that and created a bit of trouble, but they've got away with it again. They have to be careful. I thought early on they were settling into the game nicely, good composure, but a couple of mistakes creeping in.
I think the clear issue for Motherwell, Seddon's been just left 1v1 a couple of times with Tierney, with nobody really tracking back to help him. And it's a fullback's worst nightmare. If you've got a winger that can go either way, and particularly inside, you really want a midfielder or a centre back to be the next point of contact inside, and he's just been left too much space.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I think it was the same that day. Steve Seddon's not played a lot for Motherwell. He's not started a lot of games at all. In fact, he's only started 3, and one of them was that game against Rangers at Hampden when Tierney cut in and scored the goal again.
Some of the passes from Motherwell are just poor just now, inviting pressure
poor
on
from Coletta. Luckily for him, Rangers' control isn't much better.
Look, there's only 7 minutes on the clock, but I'm already asking for the ball to be removed.
That's nice. Lennon Miller just threading a simple one and trying to look for the pass through, but Barron then takes it off Miller's toes. It's a very oh my goodness, Rangers can't keep it either. This is frantic stuff, not in a good way.
Yeah, it's poor quality so far, Gordon. There don't seem to be a lot of pace to the game. I thought Rangers would have come out the blocks flying, trying to move the ball very, very quickly. They're just knocking it about. There's not anything fast about it. I think they need to up the tempo if they're going to open Motherwell up. There's that ball again to the left back. Andy just jogging out there. Need to have a chat with him midweek. It's not acceptable if you're wearing a Motherwell strip. You've got to sprint out there.
I like that. That's that interaction with the fans. It's got you think like that. What is noticeable is Maswanisi and Stama Talopatis is staying quite high, up the pitch, right in the back line. Like I was saying, they're wanting to go direct anytime they have the ball. So brave from a Motherwell point of view.
Gordon, this is what frustrates the Rangers fans, I think, because you can almost make your peace when the smaller teams, if they feel their only option is to kind of lump balls into the box. But when you see Rangers doing it, it's such a surprise. I mean, Jeffty there, he's just hit it in the box for no reason, way out of play, goal kick. Nick Walsh is now having a word with
I think there's a bit of tussling going on
and Cyril Dessers, but it's been a real theme really since Philippe Clement took over. But they're too direct at times, aren't they?
Yeah, and plus the fact when you put a ball in like that, there's nobody there, there's no runners, there's nobody going and challenging it. It just upsets the fans. If you're going to get into these areas, you're looking for a bit of quality, especially if you're Dessers, if you're a centre forward. You're looking for runners, you're looking for quality, you're looking for a ball you can go and at least try and make something out of. But that was just poor. He put it in from the left hand side and it went out for a throw in the right hand side.
Kofi Balmer just took a throw in down at his own corner and it was a clearance.
It's great that though, because usually when you give away a throw in deep in that territory, you think squeeze them in, keep them in there. He misses everybody out up to the halfway line.
I would consider that my morning walk.
Yeah, I couldn't kick the ball that far in my heyday. He can throw it further than I could kick it.
Anyway, 10 minutes gone, or 9 and a bit, and not really much to tell you about yet. No goal scoring chances. A sort of spilled effort from Aston Oxborough went out for a corner, and that was it.
Yeah, as I say, Rangers don't want a build-up of tension here. The fans need to be placated. There are thousands of empty seats. Those who have taken the bother to turn up don't want to be exasperated. They want to be enthralled, and so far not much of that going on, but they've got a corner now.
They're going very direct, Rangers, you've got to say. That's Tavernier as well. He just takes it out his feet and he plays a long ball into Dessers in the box, and to be fair to Dessers, he battles away there and gets a corner kick. Motherwell will not be happy with that
I
defender.
think they've just abandoned all pretense. Just get it in there as quickly as possible, see if we can get a goal.
I was going to say Dessers does do well to get a corner, to force a corner, but if Dessers brings that down, what's he supposed to do? He's got 3 centre backs around him. He's got nobody in touch with him.
Yeah, that almost becomes like playing to win a corner or something, doesn't it? Which obviously might then work, but it's sort of percentages that maybe the Rangers fans are not enjoying so much, but they still do have the pressure on, albeit they've had to go all the way back this time to Jeffrey and then Barron across the halfway.
I think Motherwell's back three would be quite happy if the balls were just coming in from the wide areas, because let's face it, they've got a decent bit of height in there. You're expecting the goalkeeper to help them out as well. There's no quality in the balls at all. They're just hopeful balls. That's the problem with Rangers. They're a real, and Rangers fans have switched off. They're a poor watch. They don't play with any pace. They're just going direct today. It looks a sore one on Suter, is it? We take one in the face there.
Yeah, Maswanisi with the high boot.
There's no doubt he's high. Suter just
he's high.
I think it's his knee.
Shin or his knee.
Yeah, because into Suter's head.
That's not a booking.
Nah.
Well, he didn't receive one, but
I'm a wee bit.
Dessers is in here. He's dragged it wide. I think the flag maybe, but not sure anyway. He didn't know anything about it and he was played through. It's the first time, like we say, Rangers tend to just put long balls in, but this was played through. I think Lennon Miller gave it away.
Oh, it would have been tight anyway.
He doesn't even look like he's going to score there. He's not playing with a lot of confidence. He just drags it wide. He's not even. He's got to test the goalkeeper, hit the target, and make the goalkeeper make a save. But I was talking about Motherwell's tactics. You know, Andy Halliday's a midfield player, and he's spending most of his time trying to get out to the left back and sort of a defend
to be
from
fair
that.
though, right, see, still, I know we're talking about crisis Rangers, all this stuff. Still, when you're Motherwell against Rangers at Hampden, you're probably going to need to give something up, aren't you? Is that not the point? That'll just be the plan. I'm not saying it's definitely going to work.
Yeah, but
probably are willing
listen,
to give those up.
I'm quite happy with the plan, but I don't think that you play players that Andy who's doesn't like doing that job. That's not what he's made his career out of. And if you see him, he's just jogging out. Put another person in there that knows how to play that position.
You're probably not actually trying to get right out.
Well, I think
you're giving up the wide areas in the hope that Rangers do put the ball into the box, and then, as you said earlier, you're hoping your back three deals with it.
Yeah, but I think you've got to, as a ball come through there, it's just hopeful balls for Rangers just now. You know what I mean? I think Motherwell settled into the game. Okay, they've not really been a threat, you've got to say. Rangers are dominating most of the ball, but they're playing it in front of Motherwell, and then when they get in the wide areas, they're just putting long balls in, and Motherwell will be quite happy with that. Here's a different patterns they play and just cheaply give it away again.
I think the point you were making there was highlighted Andy, something that they clearly worked on. Yeah, points out to Coletta, on you go, and he dropped in and took Barami. So that was well worked, because the distances are sometimes too much for Andy to get out there on JFD, but they worked it well there.
It was a kind of slack pass from Rangers, but it ends up working out and finding its way to Tavernier and Barron and Tierney. Just no real sustained build of anything so far, with 13.5 gone, but maybe a chance here for Tavernier and Tierney to work 1-2, but it's a thunderous challenge from Leify Balmer.
He didn't hold back there.
That is the
wholehearted
you'll
tackle.
Love them, don't you? Because you know you've not done anything wrong. You've won the ball, but you have absolutely left your mark.
Yeah. Fair play to Tavernier. He just gets up and gets on with it.
Here's Maswanisi for the first time, and he does have pace, but Suter does well to just get his body in front.
No, he's got to realise that the defender's coming out there. He just thinks he's got to knock it by him. Suter, bit of experience, just reads it, gets his body in the right place. Too easy for me. As I say, Motherwell, I think they're looking well organised, but they've not offered any threat at all. To be fair, Rangers have been just playing it in front of them, trying to put long balls in the box. There's no pace to it.
Well, the only time Butland has touched the ball was with his feet to deal with a pass back 15 minutes in, so that's the extent of Motherwell's pressure on the goalkeeper.
Only just kicked off at Dens. Dave told us he believed it was someone unwell in the crowd, I think, was it? But anyway, only just kicked off, so pretty much 20 minutes behind there at Dundee against Kilmarnock.
That just sums Rangers up in the first 15 minutes. The captain gets the ball and just basically kicks out the pitch.
He's, by the way, Gordon, I don't want to be unfair because you just add to this narrative, but I think that could be about 4 times already in this game. He's given it away.
Look, I've defended Tavernier for months and months in this programme, and I thought he's been brilliant for Rangers, but this season he's not been the same player. Everybody can see that, everybody knows that. I know he came out fighting the other day in an interview saying that he thought he was playing well. What's the lad supposed to say? He's not got to turn around and say, no, I'm having a bad time of it.
I think you can dodge the question though.
Yeah,
honestly,
dodge the question,
I've
but you're not going to say, no, I'm having a bad time.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So yeah, you're not going to say that. Do you have to say you think you've been good?
No, I agree with you. There's that ball in again, just a long hopeful ball. Mother will deal with it. Do you know, we get back to it and you're talking about Clement has to turn it around. Getting a result here is important, but his style of football is dreadful to watch. You can't deny it. It's dreadful. They talk about challenging Celtic. You look at Celtic last night, patterns of play, moving the ball, how quickly they move it, runners, everything, everyone knows what they're doing. Rangers are just lumping ball after ball, hopefully.
Aston Oxborough's given it away though, and the Motherwell making life difficult for themselves because they weren't in any real danger, and he's passed it straight back to Rangers who have the chance to try and come into the box. It's a good header, but only as far as Tavernier. And Motherwell goalkeeper's looked a bit nervy.
I tell you what, he wouldn't have thanked Casey for the ball back though. He was almost just showing Dessers where he was going to play it, and he puts his Motherwell goalkeeper under pressure, and the weight of the pass as well. It's very difficult. So poor play, I think, from Casey. A poor kick, no doubt, from Oxborough, but
Motherwell struggling to get out though, Gordon. That was good defending by Stamatopoulos, who was all the way back, really, even in open play sort of thing.
I said it before the game kicked off. When Motherwell get the ball, they have to be brave on it. I have to keep it, Gordon, because if they don't give away cheaply like they're doing, as much as Rangers don't look a big threat, they're just inviting Rangers back onto them. So they have to protect the ball a little better for me. And do you know what? I'm thinking to myself, I made a prediction extra time. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
We'll be hoping for the pyrotechnics to go back on, so we can't see the pitch.
Back to what you were saying about Rangers style though, and it's very early, but that's why I suppose those comments about performance before the game were important, because Rangers still might go on and win this game. There's nothing to suggest that they won't. But even if they do, it just doesn't look like it's going to be enough to convince the Rangers fans that they're heading in any particular direction, does it?
They can't even pass the ball to 10 yards just now. Jeffy there, everybody was talking about, he was left out against Aberdeen. When you're playing at Hampden, and Brendan Rodgers touched about the surface, right? It's tailor-made for good football, quick football. You can't just keep giving the ball away cheaply if you're playing with three. It's not good enough. Fans don't accept it.
Yeah, free kick to Motherwell. Maswanisi with a bit of direct running. He was probably glad of the foul, because I don't think he was really going to find any clear space to run into. But a combination of Raskin and Balogun. It's a very high line from Rangers. It tends to be the way nowadays, though. Mark, you'll know.
Yeah.
Do you play a high line with your youth?
Attempt to. It doesn't work that often. But you know, if you're Motherwell and you get set pieces like that, you need to make better use than what we saw, because I've been very good this season at them, not so much there.
I know you're used to just saying good things and good things only, but by his own high standards, I think first 18 minutes Lennon Miller's given it away once or twice.
It's a big day.
And the cross there was unlike him.
Good play by Al Halliday there, getting on top of the Rangers player, winning the ball back. He's on his left foot. Shoot.
It's a great story for everyone. 18-year-old captain's team in the Cup semi-final, but the weight on his mind.
There you go. He's just tried to chip one through. It goes to no one and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, so he's clearly not having a typical Lennon Miller game, and you have to suspect that subconsciously it's all a bit much for him.
Yeah, he's giving the ball away cheaply, but let me tell you, he's not alone. I think there's a lot of players out there very much guilty of the same crime. It's very difficult for to string passes together just now. And I've got to say, I've not been impressed with the first 20 minutes of this semi-final at all.
Well, you're almost wasting your time currently. It's maybe not their fight to compare Rangers to Celtic, but you were mentioning some of the stuff yesterday. I think the thing that would strike you more than anything is the way that they can punish you when you give the ball away. So because Motherwell are giving it away, they're giving it to Rangers, but does it ever really look like it's going to be that costly? Whereas you can give it to Celtic anywhere.
Do you know what I think the difference for me, Gordon, is two things. I think Celtic move the ball quicker and they've got pace in their
team.
Chance
here, Jeff Day over the bar.
No, that's landing in Rutherglen Main Street. But the difference with Celtic is they move the ball and they've got pace in their team, and they move the ball quickly. Rangers don't have a lot of pace in this side. You look at that and you don't have any flying machines, and they're very pedestrian on the ball at times. That was a good opportunity. Jeffy's got to do better there.
He's got to put his laces through that.
I totally agree with you.
He almost side foots that.
Yeah, I always think, see when players get their shooting technique wrong, it really annoys me. Like what it looked almost like a clearance.
I think if you're a left back coming in that just inside the penalty area on the angle, you have to put your laces through that, almost like an arrow across the goalkeeper. He opens up his boot. I don't know what he's expecting there. But the better from Rangers, into Barron, into Tierney, who comes inside, work it out. They get a wee overlap on the left hand side, and at least they get a shot. The execution poor right enough.
Hard for Mas when he's battling with this brilliant tackle from Conor Barron, because it looked like it was just going to sit nice for Motherwell to
Wilson
build
was
again.
favourite all day
Wilson
long.
Was favourite, and Barron, just the spirit of the hedge from his Brecon loan spell, just snapped
he
out the corner.
the hedge.
Here's Tierney on the right foot, finds Tom Lawrence, who's had a quiet opening. Tavernier's going to cross it deep.
That's poor. That is poor for Tavernier again. But Motherwell, as much as I like the fact that Motherwell have got two guys up front, they're trying to go direct, but if you just keep hitting high balls up there, Balogun and Suter will lap that up all day, and the pressure just comes back on you.
What you need is at least one of your midfielders up in the game as well. So you just, Daz is right, you just can't expect the two front men. You need someone to be picking up that second ball there, and it's Barron every time they try to go direct. I don't think there's anything wrong with going direct. We spoke about Mas when he's seen his pace early on, but they've never turned Rangers.
That looks a sore one on Suter there, as he's just
taking a wee rest.
Yeah, he's played for a free kick. I agree with you, Mark. If you're going to play it up, you either play it in short to their feet, or you play it in the channels and give them something to go for. You can't just lump high balls up, because centre halves will just take that all day long. Yeah, it's a wee sore one in
the ribs.
Yeah.
Rangers look to do it quick down the side, and they might just do that because Dessers is in the box. He's got Tierney for company. It's a great touch, but a good intervention. Lennon Miller, my goodness, Barron and Lawrence tackle each other
over.
The Rangers do still have it though, and a good attacking opportunity. Another good foot in by Lennon Miller.
To be fair, I've got to say, if I was Stuart Kettlewell there, I'd have been angry with my defender. He's got to defend the other side. Don't allow that ball. That was too easy.
Down the side from the free kick.
Yeah, he's got to defend the other side, and that ball's then not on. All of a sudden Rangers get an easy pathway into the Motherwell box. It was too easy. Defend, and it stops that.
I think Motherwell, they've just defended from the first whistle. They pose no threat at all at the other end of the park, and you can't go on all day like that without losing.
Yeah, generally you can't, but there are times when this Rangers team makes you feel like
you might get away with it.
You've got more of a chance than you would previously, and no one's choosing to defend all game, are they? It just sometimes you get.
I was going to say, when Gordon brought up Rangers style, I was going to say, are the players individually better than the style? But no one's really standing out. The passing is inaccurate.
They don't look like a team that's very well coached. I've got to say, they don't look like that. As I keep saying, you've got to put yourself up against what the best side in Scotland is. Well, that's a better ball, but is it offside?
No, he's still on, Mas. When he say it's a good opening for a Motherwell, that, but he gets it blocked to Seddon.
It's a great
one in, and we've got a goal at hand in.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's Motherwell 1, Rangers 0, and it's Andy Halliday who scores no celebration. I'll have words with him about that tomorrow, but Motherwell have taken the lead, and it's Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard's own Andy Halliday.
First time I got up the park, I have to say, you're entitled to celebrate, Andy. I mean,
let's worry about that later, to be fair. Let's talk about the fact that
it's a good finish, good cross, good finish.
Oh, Hugh, it's a fantastic cross, and I've got to say, I'll give him all the credit in the world. The timing of his run is brilliant, and he's still got a bit to do. We were talking about the balls being played long. It was into the corner. They get a little bit of luck. They get a break.
It's a great run.
Oh, it's a terrific time of run. He's absolutely left the Rangers defence for dead. He's timed it brilliantly. It's been put on a plate. He's still got a bit to do.
It's brilliant, okay, but I'm going to be on the defensive side. Jeff Day is on the other way. He's away. He's thinking that ball's going through. He's no idea. The midfielder, the Motherwell midfielder, is coming in the inside him. He looks at his goalkeeper. He's actually looking and running the other way. Andy does brilliant to get on the end of it. What a ball from Seddon. But you have to look at your left back there and think, what on earth are you thinking?
The peg holding up the jacket.
Do you know what?
It must be for Maswanisi.
Yeah, there is an offside check, and I did wonder. I thought Maswanisi in the build-up, we could have.
This would be cruel. This would be really cruel.
If you're Jeff Day at the minute, though, you're looking at that screen thinking, dig me out a hole here, because that's as bad as you'll see.
No, it's
defensively.
It's given, is it? It's given.
I'm not sure. He's sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's given.
Motherwell fan was signalling. Motherwell fan signalling 1 there.
Is that what that one finger was to say that it was a goal? Yeah. Motherwell leads. Motherwell 1, Rangers 0.
I repeat, the jacket is on a sugary peg now.
I'll tell you what, my prediction's looking no bad. I'm waiting for the steel, man.
Yes, Motherwell 1, Rangers 0. Andy Halliday with the goal after 25 minutes. It was a brilliant cross from Steve Seddon as well. He spoke about him not having started many games. He put that on a plate.
It was fantastic cross, I've got to say. He just takes it on that favoured left foot. He knows that Andy's probably got to make that run. They'll probably have worked on that in training. He knows that Andy's that sort of midfield player. He likes to get in there. His timing, Andy Halliday's timing is brilliant. I totally agree. I totally agree with Mark with the left back. The left back's I don't know what he's even thinking, but take nothing away from Halliday. And he's still got a bit to do, and it's great finish.
He's also adjusted his feet in mid-air.
Brilliant finish.
You're right about Andy's timing. See, if you're doing any sort of analysis, you must point out that from a midfield perspective, this is what you need to expect, because I know it was a throw-in against Hibs at Easter Road, but he still gets in the inside of the fullback. So these are your dangers. Watch out for that.
Connor Barron, great strike, good save. Aston Oxborough, it was a half shooting chance, and he made quite a lot of it. Connor Barron, corner Rangers. There is a goal in one of our Premiership matches today, and needed one as well. 1-0 Hibs. A man who's been getting loads of stick, Lewis Miller, from Jordan Obita's cross.
That's a good save, because I think that takes a wee deflection. I could have easily caught the goalkeeper out. Terrific save. The thing about Motherwell just now is they need to settle down and just make it very difficult for Rangers in the next 15 minutes. They don't want to let Rangers back into the game so quickly after taking the lead, but
Rangers players getting bumped into each other.
They have no idea.
Second and third time that's happened.
They've no idea what they're doing. They're all over the place.
Panic is now sitting though, because
still plenty of time to go. Hugh,
I do understand, but
I've got to say the 28 minutes that I've watched here, people have not turned up. Rangers supporters not turned up for this game, and I do not blame. I couldn't watch it. You couldn't pay money to go and watch it.
I might be nitpicking here, but you work with a consistent back four. You get your lines right, and we're just seeing the lines drawn for Maswanisi running in behind. And who's behind Balogun and Suter? It's Jeffy at the left hand side playing him on.
Because I did wonder, that's why I had my doubts. It seemed like one of those too good to be true, because you think, how can Maswanisi have got right in behind the centre backs? And well, that's why.
Yeah, he's just a yard deeper, and that's all it takes. If you're not in unison, you're not in line, you don't know what you're doing, you're chopping, changing, it leads to something like that.
Dessers isn't happy.
Park and
the Rangers supporters are not happy.
I take it that's the scouting department.
No, the Parks.
Park.
Oh,
Park and Co. Time to go.
Right.
Aimed at board members.
Bit of poetry there.
Douglas Park now getting the camera treatment as you would expect when these things happen. The TV director saying, right, where is he? Just so we can respond to that banner.
Who gets the job of looking for them in the crowd and spotting them?
Oh,
they'll know where they are.
When you hear it all going on, it's quite interesting.
I'd like to hear that. Somebody find them.
Well, presumably he's in the director's box, so
there's a lot of people in there though.
Is that going to be a corner to Rangers?
I hope that took a nick for Desser's. It was at Tavernier's sake, because it looked a poor cross. But this is where Rangers look more likely to get down. Their right hand side, Tierney, we highlighted earlier, given Seddon some problems. It was Tavernier down that channel again. But the difference is when Rangers are putting balls into the box, they've not got runners like Motherwell did. They've got Dessers battling with three centre halves and nobody else.
Rangers almost just hoping for something bread and butter from a corner like this, and they won't get it with that delivery. It was dreadful from Tierney. Seddon heads it away, and then Maswanisi does excellent, but he slips just at the crucial moment, allowing Barron to pick up again. And this is a good driving run. You know, that's what Jeffy's got, but by all accounts,
we're all falling over the place.
You heard this in his early stages, Gordon. This was the word on the street that Jeffy can really carry the ball, but there's an issue there, defending instincts and that sort of stuff.
I said this from day one. I don't fancy him as a defender. I think going forward, I've always said that I thought he was better one forward, a left back than him there, but I don't see him as a very good defender, and it showed there for Motherwell's goal.
So free kick Rangers, one of those crossing ones, but almost a bit more central than you would prefer. But Tavernier, we know he certainly got it in his locker. Maybe not producing it loads this season, but I think the foul goes the way of Motherwell.
Motherwell good at that with the bodies they've got, the height they've got in the back line. Three big lads there, and Halliday at the back post defend it well.
Yeah, it's good defending. Andy's in there, and to be fair, he does great because Balogun's get the height advantage, but he goes in there and wins his battle, so well done to Andy Halliday. But Rangers, that's again, there's no plan B. It's just a hopeful ball into the box. Can they get something? You're looking at 30 minutes. Dessers has not been involved, Tom Lawrence has not been involved, the two wide men have not been involved.
See, just in a simple point, right? And we keep talking about Celtic in comparison. Even Celtic yesterday tried to work a wee set piece that we've never really seen them doing round the box. It looked like they were going to put it in, played it to the guy at drop, tried to play through in a car. You're right, you never see Rangers kind of piecing something like that together. Tavernier usually gets the ball, everybody in the box, and let's go and run and try and get our head on it.
I think it's a damning indictment if you, Gordon Dale, as a former manager, can say Rangers don't look like a team who are well coached.
They don't. I don't see any patterns of play, movements. I don't see what they're trying to do. They get to wide areas, they don't then go and play balls, pass and go and move defenders. They just lump it into the box and hope that someone's going to fall for them.
Well, they better hope that it falls soon, because they don't want to go in at half time a goal behind, because that just increases the tension.
Yeah, poor shot into the arms of Aston Oxborough from Tom Lawrence. See, this is not to say that it's okay, but this is nothing new. This is the way Rangers play, Gordon.
Yeah,
this is not. It's not like today they've turned up and it looks like their coach, the plan isn't there. I don't think this looks any different from the way Rangers always look.
And that's the reason why there's so many empty seats at Hampden, and it'll soon be the same at Ibrox if this continues, because Rangers fans have switched off from this. They've had enough of it. They can't accept it. Today is all about winning a semi-final, but you've got to try and win it with a little bit of a good performance, and looking at your top players, the energy, the passing, the movement. It's so pedestrian, it's unbelievable. And that's why Motherwell, they've not really threatened. They've had a shot from outside the box. The rest has been hopeful balls. So it's not been good enough if you're a Rangers supporter.
Motherwell don't make the most of the free kick. I don't think the plan would have been to have Dan Casey try and control it with his face and then give it away. So you have to assume it went wrong.
But I don't know what Casey was thinking there. He either heads that on or work your feet a bit quicker, take it in your chest. Face it.
I'm just watching Tavernier there. He strides forward with the ball. He's looking. He's asking people for movement. Nobody's moved. He's turned back. He plays it back to Suter, and he's having a go at people in front. There's just no movement or interaction with Tavernier to go and play or bounce something off or playing behind. It's all too slow. I think this suits Motherwell down to a T. If Motherwell can concentrate in this game, I know that there's still a lot of football to be played.
Dreadful from Václav Černý.
He's had a dreadful match so far. He promises so much, and on days like this, you wonder why he get picked.
Motherwell come forward. I feel like they actually, with a bit of impetus, could have really made.
Yeah, they could have
made Rangers pay there.
Slowed things down, allowed them to get back into shape, and then just play it back to the goalkeeper. Stuart Cartwell will be disappointed with that, because Černý obviously plays the ball in the middle of the pitch, and he's got Rangers players out the game, and it was an opportunity just for Motherwell to promote bodies forward.
Lawrence looks in trouble here.
I thought he was limping minutes ago.
Yeah, he looks in trouble. Yeah, I think his afternoon's finished. Diomande getting ready to come on. Straight replacement.
Is it when he went to close down Casey and kicked the ball up the pitch? That's where the cameras are going. Is almost as if
he's hamstring or something.
He's pulled a muscle. There's no doubt about that. He's pulled a muscle or something.
Well, look, with the way they're all playing, I know Diomande's not been excellent either, but Mark, it's all of the kind of much of a muchness anyway. I know Tom Lawrence has been scoring goals, but you look at the opening 40 minutes of this game, he's done absolutely nothing. So you just don't know anymore. Is that seen as a blow? Is it seen as a downgrade because he's a guy that can score your goals?
Same as you, Gordon. Don't really know. Saw one shot from him there, didn't really get involved in any build-up play, didn't create anything, and then you've got Diomande coming on. And if you're a Rangers fan, you're probably thinking, what are we going to get from Diomande? Sometimes he'll show up, and he got a goal a couple of weeks ago at home, rebound off the goalkeeper, and sometimes he's anonymous. He's now playing in that number 10 role. He's just taken over from Lawrence, so who knows what you're going to get. And that, by the way, I think the Rangers players, the way it looks, I think that who knows what we're going to get here. But maybe pump this ball forward, and who knows, something might just fall our way.
You know the ever excellent Old Firm Facts account on Twitter?
Yeah, very good.
Posting jokes and funny observations from Scottish football. They posted a clip, just a picture of Andy Halliday after the goal with the caption, "Rangers fan resorts to desperate measures in bid to get Clement sacked."
Very good.
Oh, they have to face another corner kick here. That looks like Rangers' best bet to get back into his game. It will be a set play, because they have got guys that can go and attack it here.
A real high out swinger. Suter wins it. You really are relying on the second ball there, and Motherwell close to getting out with it, but the pass just a bit too much for Stamatopoulos and out for a throw-in.
You're right there, Gordon. So you're not even relying on scoring from the first ball in there. You're hoping that you get a knockdown and something falls for your striker.
It was swung out to about 14 yards, so you're asking a lot for the ball a lot for Suter to score from there.
Again, if you've got Tavernier, whose one good thing is his delivery, very rarely lets him down, putting a couple of great balls at Pataudry right on top of the goalkeeper and swing that, but he's got Černý up there. A lot doesn't make sense what I've watched here in 37 minutes.
It's quite a change. I know Rangers, I'm not saying he's taken every single set piece forever, but that's Černý now taking off both sides, Gordon, when Tavernier's on the pitch.
Yeah, but there's no quality whatsoever. It doesn't matter. It's
lovely from Lennon Miller. He nutmegs Nicholas Raskin and then sets away Steve Seddon.
This could be a good opportunity.
Can he deliver again? He's chopped inside Tavernier this time. And he just tries to lay it off to Ewan Wilson.
So easy.
At the edge of the box. It was a brilliant move from Motherwell, the best they've come up with, which is maybe not saying much, and asking to be a booking for Kofi Balmer. Tries to rip Černy's jersey off.
You know what? He'll take that. He'll take that because he understands these players are trying to recover. He's just taking one for the team there. But a good play from Miller, good ball. Seddon does well. He does well, but Tavernier, I mean, that is so basic, that defending, just to let them come in inside. And Seddon should have done better. It was a good opportunity.
Rangers get the break of it here because Seddon didn't quite deal with it as it goes down. Dessers and Casey or Gordon or Balmer are battling every time. Dessers has gone to ground so many times.
Do you not think Dessers gets involved too much with centre halves? And he's on the floor and he's moaning to the ref rather than attacking space. A lot of the time he's He's worried about wrestling people.
Yeah, see, be fair to him, Mark, the ball goes down the right hand side there. I'm watching the box and the ball goes in. There's one or two at the most Rangers players in that box. There's nobody breaking, I got to get there and go and cause problems. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't either, because the quality is poor. Motherwell slack there.
Opened up for Barami, but it's tame and Oxborough holds. It's one of those where Lennon Miller tries to stand over the ball to stop Tavernier taking the quick free kick, but he manages to just kind of pass it under his foot, and that way Motherwell are then out of position. Barami onto his left foot.
That's the first time I've really noticed Barami on the park.
Kilmarnock have taken the lead at Dens. Dundee 0, Kilmarnock 1. It's a tap in for Bruce Anderson. David Watson's cross, John McCracken dropped it. Which is not ideal. There's a Scotland squad announced tomorrow. He was in the last one, but he's lost his place to Trevor Carson.
That'll end a draw.
And now back in. No, they eventually got a winner the last time.
I know, but who was it? Kennedy that scored. He ruined everything.
Dramatic
He
fashion.
ruined the agreement to end all those games in a draw.
40 minutes gone. Rangers fans will be less than impressed with what they've seen so far. Motherwell leading by a goal to 0 as Motherwell come and snap into another challenge, but Raskin keeps it and then
gives it away.
By the way, you're right there. Jeffy's got the ball on the touchline and he's looking. Everybody's just looking back at Jeffy.
If they say do something,
yeah, make something happen, because I'm not going to move for you.
Motherwell have given it away in a daft area though. The chance to let. It's almost excellent from Coletta. He just robs Barami.
Free kick. Brilliant play.
And there's going to be a booking as well for Barami. He's been absolutely done there because he's had his pocket picked and then commits the foul, stopping a promising attack as the rule would go. Well,
if this goes another 5 minutes and Motherwell get in 1-0, Clement will hear the boos ringing in his ears. There's no doubt, because it's not been acceptable.
It's just lazy from Barami as well.
What's weird about it, Mark, is he's a guy that has obviously shown moments, and you look at Pittodrie the other night, but it's a guy that's worth millions of pounds. He played at the Euros in the summer, and that just shouldn't be you can blame Philippe Clement for lots of things, I'm sure you can, but that's the second time that he's just had his pocket picked completely.
Just looks a shell of a player today. He's looking. You can see him looking up there, thinking, "Where am I going here?" And I'm stepping back, and Claire just steps up and picks his pocket. Just void ideas, and the players look lost out there.
I'd like to see Motherwell being a little bit braver on the ball. I've got to say, I think that
don't need to be just now, really.
No, but you're just inviting it on. As much as Rangers aren't causing you a lot of problems, you're just inviting a little bit more pressure than you need, and they're a slack ball given away again. Terrible.
Yeah, Jeffy gives it away. It's good footwork from Andy Halliday, and now he's fouled.
He'll take that.
This is Hugh. It's incredible. My sort of counter argument, or my fear with a Motherwell persuasion this week, is that the law of averages almost catches up with you. Look, are Rangers seriously going to go and put in another performance like that? Surely they'll just have a good day at some point.
Yeah.
And then you see this for 42 minutes.
Yeah, it's astonishing. The fans, those who bother to turn up, must be beside themselves inside Hampden. It is utterly unacceptable. But the worst thing of all is that, I go back to Gordon's point, They look poorly coached. They're bereft of ideas. They are a poor team, and they've given the ball away in a dangerous area again.
Yeah, Raskin just telegraphed it, and Andy Halliday read it. Maswanisi's into the box, but he's got 5 blue jerseys.
That's too easy.
He goes down. He was never getting the foul.
That's too easy. He's given the ball away, and all of a sudden there's one or two Motherwell players out of position here. Opportunity for Rangers to try and create something just before half time, give them a glimmer of hope.
Yeah, Motherwell will be desperate to get in at the break.
I mean, to say they're looking for a glimmer of hope sums it all up. I mean, what a state.
Yeah, a bit of an opening. Diomande down, and it's just cut across. I don't think Lennon Miller can keep it in. Goes out for a corner.
Yeah, Rangers have forced a few corners, but they've never really threatened. So Motherwell just need to be defensively tight here. Get in 1-0. All of a sudden you've got a bit of confidence. You know that Rangers will come out in the second half, and for Rangers they're hoping a better performance, but can they get in at 1-1? It's the only way I can see them scoring.
Back on play. Corner duty, out swinging this time. Stamatolopoulos is underneath it.
Yeah, that looked a handball to me.
Yeah, I think
Clyde
Clyde was on. Diomande, good save, the rebound, and it goes wide.
How did he miss that?
Who's at the back? Dessers is clutching his knees, hoping the referee's going to
I think he
have
might,
a look at this.
Have a case here.
That's a sitter.
It's a desperate tackle. Is it Casey at the back post?
Yeah, he could have a case. Cyril Dessers. The cross just comes in from Diomande.
He's onside.
I don't think that's a penalty.
Dessers should score anyway, but
I don't think that's given. I've got no. I think that's a bad miss.
See
I
if
totally
that's
agree.
anywhere else in the pitch and you pass the ball and you get caught after.
I've heard the argument before of with the shot already being away.
Yeah,
but I mean, you can see both sides of that because the shot is away. The
shot's away. It's past the post. It's a dreadful finish.
I don't think Clement's even looking for a penalty.
He catches him. There's no doubt about that after it.
It is half time at Easter Road. We'll go there in just a second and speak to Lana, but we better stick with this first and get this half time whistle away unless we get some sort of VAR drama here. So Oxborough parries it. Dessers is going to tap it in.
That's not a penalty.
No, actually, it's having seen it from the other side.
Yeah,
balls away. But Dessers' movement then probably takes him into defender.
I think you're right. He's got to score. He's in a run just now that he's not playing with a lot of confidence. He's not scoring goals. I don't think he's scored in the last 7-8 games maybe. So that sums it up for him. A great opportunity and he puts it past the post. It's one of those ones. I've done that in my career, just saying, right, I'll take an extra couple of minutes and kid on my legs. So I played day tricks myself.
4 minutes added at the end of this first half. Cyril Dessers still getting a bit of treatment. It's hard to know, Mark, whether he fell awkwardly. It did just look like a sort of kick in the knee rather than I'm not saying that can't be sore, but just one that you could probably shake off, but maybe he did land awkwardly.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. The thing about Dessers is that I made the point he gets too involved with centre halves. He gets too involved with referees, always looking like he cannot believe the decision hasn't went his way. He's doing the same again there.
Because the sitter is missed before Dan Casey enters the picture, isn't it? And that's where Dessers, it's almost like he's once off the hook because the challenge came in.
Of course he does, yeah.
It's never going to happen on that occasion.
Yeah, if he comes on, picks his pride up and just gets on with it. Yeah, see him jogging back on. So he's fine. He's absolutely fine. He'll be disappointed because that's a great opportunity to get your team level in at half time. And you've got to take the opportunities because they've not created a lot in the first half. You've got to say that.
No, next to nothing actually. And Motherwell trying to run down the clock here at the end of the first half. Mohamed Diamandi's raging about it. Dan Casey not too fussed as the throw comes to Stamatolopoulos and then Halliday, the goal scorer.
Things you thought you'd never say.
Some K9 tweeted to say he's phoning in sick tomorrow, isn't he? But we'll wait. We don't know how this one will end yet. So, but he is the man who's made the difference so far. Coletta into Maswanisi in the box. Motherwell again. You're at that awkward stage, probably. Mark, do you want to run down the clock and get in at half time, or could you try and go for that a bit there? And
I think when you've got bodies forward, you may as well just try and piece that together. But Maswanisi there, just too many touches.
Standards.
He just
to
needs
be fair though,
off.
Diomande is at least, and I know you might think the bar's low, he's putting himself about since he came on. He's done more in 5 minutes than the Rangers midfield had done prior to that.
Yeah, I've got to say, this is one of those games that we always say it, the next goal is important, because see if Motherwell get the next goal, this Rangers team will not come back. They will not come back. They've not got the character.
Well, they've still got time to try and level things off before the break if they fancy it. There's still a minimum of 2 minutes to go.
Just concentration from Motherwell players.
A minimum of 1 minute to go
is key, because you just don't want someone to switch off and someone to get in behind you. It's going to be a foul for James Tavernier.
Booking as well, you would imagine. Oh, is he not giving a booking for that, Stamatolopoulos?
That's a booking. I should be getting booked for that.
I think we know what's going to happen here though.
Round his waist,
swung into the box.
That's incredible. Nick Walsh hasn't booked him for that, I have to say.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Even I can say that.
It's incredible they got those letters on the back of his strip. There aren't many of them.
It's going to be an in-swinger, Cherney. It's going to go towards the penalty spot, you'd imagine. Oxborough running about his 6-yard line. Try to play high.
Poised and ready. He is good at coming for crosses. Let's see if you jinx him on that.
Terrible
but it's a
ball.
Dreadful ball. Doesn't beat anyone. And Ewan Wilson heads it away. Maybe a second phase though from Rangers as they float it. Yep, Suter's in there.
Oxborough's got to know that that's going wide. That's something you'd see in your local park when the goalkeepers aren't quite sure of the angles. Suter's header, it's going wide. And he saved it and put it out for a corner, so a wee bit more pressure for Motherwell.
Yeah, I think the goalkeepers looked a bit nervy in the first half. There's something not right there.
It's a big high looping ball, and I think two Rangers players perhaps collide with each other.
How many times are Rangers players
bumping into
each other?
Yeah, those big high balls are ugly, aren't they, as well? Just
unless you've got someone who is exceptional in the air.
Balogun and Suter, two centre backs just clashing. But Motherwell will be delighted to get in half time 1-0, and that's it. Is it half time? No, it's drop ball, sorry.
Stuart Finlay, I think, being stretchered off for Kilmarnock. Joe Wright comes on, maybe an awkward fall. He was hit by the ball.
Oh, Joe won't be on for long.
What you got in the sweepstake?
What are the baths like at Dens?
Oh, it'll be old school, won't it, on that stadium?
You'd have to think so.
It was never a great stress.
Half time at Hampden. Here's Andrew McLean.
Motherwell 1, Rangers 0, the half-time score, and the boos ringing around Hampden from the Rangers supporters. A game lacking in real quality at Hampden, and Andy Halliday with the only goal to put some real pressure on his old side. It was Rangers who created a couple of half chances early on. Cherney cut inside, had a shot saved by Oxborough, then Jeffty's pass through to Cyril Dessers into the left side of the box, but Dessers dragged that one wide. Really should have tested the goalkeeper. All looked a bit disjointed from both teams. Poor passing, giving the ball away time and time again. Around 20 minutes in, Rangers did manage to string a few passes together before Barami laid it off to Jeffty. He got his shot wrong and skied it way over the bar. Motherwell really hadn't ventured forward at all, but made the most of their first opportunity. Maswanise got in behind, worked it out to Seddon on the left. A really good cross from him, and there was Andy Halliday to come flying in at the back post, get the contact and find the bottom corner to put Motherwell 1-0 in front. No celebration from him. However, the Motherwell fans over to my right were absolutely loving it. 1-0 to Motherwell at that point, and then Aston Oxborough had to make a save from a deflected corner. Barron shot after that, but Rangers really struggling to get into gear at all in this game. Right before the break, Aston Oxborough had to make another save, palmed away a shot from Diamandi, but it was into the path of Cyril Dessers, who somehow didn't hit the target. The goal was gaping. There was a challenge that was put in on him. He was looking for a penalty but was never going to get it. A massive miss from him. Really should have scored or at least hit the target. But that kind of sums up what Rangers have served up so far at Hampden, lacking in quality, and Andy Halliday, the man that's made them pay for it so far. The half-time score at the National Stadium: Motherwell 1, Rangers 0.
The fastest goals, the experts' opinions. This is Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard.
Half-time at the National Stadium, Motherwell 1, Rangers 0. Andy Halliday's goal separating the sides. A really poor first half performance from Rangers, you have to say. Motherwell haven't had to be at their best. They're far from it as well, but they are leading the semi-final. And quickly, Hugh Keevins, because we've got other half-times to get to. Is it as simple as Philippe Clement has 45 minutes to save his job, or is that over the top?
No, it's not over the top. It's accurate. The stadium, what should be a Rangers end of the stadium, is empty. Thousands did not go to the game. Thousands will start not going to games. It is a fundamental need that the supporters back the club, because the club needs money, and this cannot continue. He is not doing the job.
It's now 2-1 to Kilmarnock against Dundee, and a delayed kick-off there as well, so lots to get through. Let's quickly get a half-time update from Easter Road. Hibs against Dundee United. Lana Mackay is there.
Yep, half-time at Easter Road, and it's Hibs 1, Dundee United 0, and it's a brilliant header from Lewis Miller to give Hibs the lead at the break. The Hibees dominated the opening 20 minutes with 75% of the possession. They had a few early attempts but didn't really do much to trouble the United keeper Jack Walton. Pretty much everything bar the goal has been off target. Kwon sent a couple of headers wide. Miller scoured a volley into the stands. Junior Hoylett fired over the bar. But David Gray's side kept on pushing and got themselves ahead inside half an hour. As Jordan Obita looked a lovely ball into the box from the left-hand side. Miller rose highest and powered his header across the keeper into the back of the net. Glenn Middleton's looked lively bobbing down the left for Dundee United. He had a good early chance when the ball fell kindly for him on the edge of the box, but he sent his volley just a whisker past the left post. Martin Boyle had a chance to double the host advantage right before half-time when Joe Newell crossed into the back post. Miller nodded down into Boyle's path, but his volley was blocked. So it's Hibs with a narrow lead at the break. Can David Gray's men hold out for their second win of the season, or will Jim Goodwin's side stage a second half comeback? Game very much in the balance here. It's half-time at Easter Road and it's Hibs 1, Dundee United 0.
We've not got half-time yet from Dens because of that delayed kick-off. A reminder though, as it stands, Motherwell are beating Rangers at half-time in the League Cup semi-final. I wonder if there will be any changes at the break. Philippe Clement needs something. We'll be back to the National Stadium next.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Clyde One Super Scoreboard podcast with Lookers Audi. Book a test drive for the fully electric range today. Head online for details.
Purina One. Visible health for today and tomorrow. When a cat is healthy, you can see it on the outside. But do you know what makes them look healthy on the inside? It's your cat's gut microbiome, a dynamic ecosystem of trillions of microorganisms. Purina One by Fences balances the bad and good bacteria to help support their gut microbiome. Search today for Purina One's Blue Pack online and in store.
With 3, you can get 9 months half price on a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra powered by Galaxy AI. Available with unlimited data from £44.50 a month for the first 9 months, plus annual price rises and £50 up front on our value plan. Search 3 or head in-store today. Life needs a big network.
24-month airtime plan. 36-month device plan. From £60 a month from month 10. Price rises each April by £1.50.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard podcast.
With Lookers Land Rover. Looking to sell your Land Rover? Contact them today for a no-obligation quotation.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Let's go back to Hampden and see if there's any hint of a change Rangers could be doing with something. Andrew McLean.
Yeah, they definitely need something to happen in this second half. It doesn't look as if there's going to be any changes, just looking at the players that are warming up at the moment. Of course, Mohamed Diamande has already come on in the first half for Rangers after that injury to Tom Lawrence. I think the only player that's not out there warming up at the moment of the outfield players is Robin Propper. You wouldn't imagine that's an area that Rangers would change early on in the half. They, of course, have options there. Yanis Hadji, who served his suspension in the league, of course, but is available to play in the League Cup. Got that assist when he came off the bench in that game where he got sent off. So whether Philippe Clement decides to turn to him or not. Hamza Igamani as well, who got a goal in Europe, but has maybe only shown flashes in a Rangers jersey. And the likes of Danilo as well, who of course cost Rangers so much money when he first came in, but just hasn't been able to stay fit. Is this the type of game that Philippe Clement will throw him into? I'm not so sure. Just watching the Rangers players walking onto the pitch now, the big ovation you can hear is from the Motherwell fans over to my right as the Motherwell team follow Rangers out the tunnel. Doesn't look as if there are going to be any changes from either side. Probably no surprise when it comes to Motherwell. Obviously have the lead in this game, but it probably says a lot about Rangers' performance that Motherwell haven't been great today either, but have the lead. They've been quite slack in their passing as well. They've not looked overly cohesive, but they've still managed to get that goal through Andy Halliday to put them ahead, because Rangers have just been worse than them. They've had a few chances going forward. Aston Oxborough in the Motherwell goal hasn't looked overly confident. I think at times parried a few shots that he maybe could have caught, but it's all been half chances for Rangers, apart from that Cyril Dessers one right at the end where he really should have scored that open goal. But Rangers supporters, they booed when the half-time whistle went, and they will be expecting much, much better from their team in this second half. And as you mentioned just before the break, Philippe Clement, he's standing on the touchline, watching on at the moment. You wonder what the future holds for him if his Rangers side cannot turn this game around and end up being knocked out of the League Cup semi-finals. Lennon Miller, wearing the captain's armband, is standing over the ball, ready to go. I think Nick Walsh is just instructing James Tavernier to go over and knock a loose ball off the pitch so we can get going here at Hampden. But yeah, Lennon Miller standing over the ball, and we are ready to go. Motherwell 1-0 up going into the second half of this game at Hampden.
When you first meet the one, it's electric. The attraction is intense. And it's tempting to rush things, but you need to take it slowly. Spend a couple of days together and let the relationship build. So when you fall in love with an electrified Ford like the new Explorer, Mustang Mach-E, and Kuga plug-in hybrid, we want you to spend quality time with them, which is why until the end of November, you can take one of Ford's electrified vehicles for a 48-hour test drive. Then you really know it's the one for you. Book your date today. Ford, bring on tomorrow. Search Ford 48-hour test drive. Test drive subject to availability.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Goal flashes. With M&D Green Pharmacy. Get advice on keeping infections and viruses away when school returns.
Well, Gordon Dalziel, we said we expected at the very least just a kind of quick looking start from Rangers at the beginning of the game, and it didn't come, and they're now 1-0 down as the second half begins. Can they, again, at the very least, show some sort of ambition here?
It certainly wouldn't be hard, because they've been absolutely dreadful. And I was listening to Andrew there at Hampden, and he's correct. Motherwell haven't been great either, but they've got the most vital thing as a goal. They've got something to hold on to. If they get another one, there's no way back for Rangers, in my opinion. But surely the Rangers manager would have had a few strong words in the dressing room at half time and basically told them it's not acceptable, it's not good enough, and he's looking for a reaction.
First piece of action is a brilliant run from Ewan Wilson, wins the ball, shows great strength, actually a nice chop inside Jeffy as well. He's pulled back by Raskin. Mark, those are usually a booking. They just are.
It's got to be, because I tell you why, Wilson's just ready to play that to the left hand side to Seddon. I can't believe it's not a booking. By the way, and that just sums things up from Rangers possession. Wilson, second favourite, wins the ball, pushes Raskin off, then pushes Jeffy off, then chops away. Young lad does brilliant, but Rangers players looking weak there in the challenge as well. Oh, what an opportunity.
Almost too good to be true for Motherwell. Everyone thought Lennon Miller was going to take the free kick. Halliday took it, found Kofi Balmer. He was all alone in the box, and almost like he didn't know how to head it back across to, and he just headed it straight to Jack Butland. He had all sorts of space.
I've got to say, it was a terrific move, obviously one that's been worked in the training ground, and it certainly worked, but he just get caught in two minds. He get caught in two minds there. That'd have been a great opportunity.
I think the flag went up for Balmer anyway. Right, tell you what, let's get a quick half-time update from Dens. We'll interrupt Dave if there's anything major going on. But Dave, you've seen quite a first half in Dundee.
Yeah, it's been an enjoyable first period, Gordon. Dundee 1, Kilmarnock 2. Matty Kennedy cut inside to let fly from the edge of the box, but it was charged down. That was an early chance for Kilmarnock, who were the first to threaten. Dundee responded with an effort from Oluwaseun Adewumi, deflected for a corner after Simon Murray picked him out. A real clanger though from John McCracken, gifted Killie the lead. David Watson slung in a cross. It was headed up in the air by Bruce Anderson. McCracken caught the ball, then dropped it, and Anderson had a tap and couldn't believe his luck. Dundee hit back with Lyle Cameron's powerful 25-yard drive deflected behind. It was a blow for the visitors, with Stuart Finlay stretchered off after a few minutes treatment. We'll get the latest on him from Derek McInnes after this one. And the home side, they came so close to equalising. A lot of the Dundee fans in the main stand thought they had scored. Oluwaseun Adewumi's shot, it actually rippled the side net. It looked from certain angles that it had actually gone in. Kilmarnock though doubled their advantage after 39 minutes. Danny Armstrong crossing for Matty Kennedy to head home, but 2 minutes later the Dark Blues got to go back. Adewumi crossed for Seb Palmer-Holden to convert from just a few yards out. Exciting stuff, and I feel we're not quite done just yet with the goals. Hopefully another thrilling second half to come, but at the interval, Dundee 1, Kilmarnock 2.
Yeah, interesting game that one. Lots of action for Dave Galloway. You've not missed much from Hampden apart from a James Tavernier cross, like a really, really bad one, met with a chorus of boos from the Rangers fans. But they're into the box here. There's a chance, and it's the equaliser.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Cyril Dessers, he's not scored in 8. He's missed sitters all afternoon, but he's in there and he scores. It was a bit too much space for Connor Barron in the box. He slid it across and it was a simple finish. 1-1, game on.
Just in time, because it was all beginning to fall apart. The cross from Tavernier, the straw that broke the camel's back for the supporters. Loud boos, and you thought this is just a dreadful afternoon, but they're back in the game. 1-1. Dessers has missed 2 easy chances this afternoon. Third time lucky for him, and you wonder now if Rangers might go on from here. They've been awful, absolutely awful, and the fans have shown their displeasure at those who turned up. Thousands of empty seats, reflecting the awful nature of Rangers' start to the season. But now they've got a chance.
Well, he certainly asked for a reaction. The manager, his mother, come forward. It's a good goal on Rangers' behalf. It's a great ball, early ball from Barron.
Ooh, chance Motherwell as the cross comes in, but and it just evades everyone at the back post.
I've got to say, if you're Stuart Keltwell and you're watching that defending, that's horrific. But take nothing away from the goal scorer. He's been in and about the box. He waited for his opportunity, and it's a well needed goal. It's
a great time as well, Mark, because although we were only 5 minutes in, Rangers didn't really look like they had started the half any better, than the first half. And in a strange way, you could have seen a substandard Motherwell just grind this out from there. So they kind of needed something.
Yeah, and just a little spark. And it's amazing what a forward run does for you. Connor Barron just decides, I'm not going to hold the edge of the box, I'm going to run forward. And it's a good little ball from Tierney and a nice cut back, a well worked goal, you've got to say, from a Rangers point of view. I think Rangers fans, that's what they're wanting to see. They want to see players progressing into the box rather than be this conservative style and just lump long balls into the box. They actually pieced it together and they get a reward through it. So game's in the balance at the minute.
What will be, but I also don't think that the Rangers supporters are fooled. They've looked at this and that they've made their displeasure known, and even if Rangers get to the final, the Rangers fans are looking at this and thinking simply not good enough. And I fear for them going forward, because they have Olympiacos in Europe midweek. They're still to play Tottenham, who beat Aston Villa 4-1 today. Man United with a new Portuguese manager. Could be awful for them.
No, I think you're right, but that's still a whole lot better than not going through, isn't it? That's the nuclear option.
Yeah, so if he lost Philippe Clement, I don't think he could survive the night in the job. But if he wins, they'll go forward, but I'm afraid they're staggering forward rather than marching forward. They're just staggering and stumbling forward.
Motherwell just under pressure, defending their box now for the last 3 or 4 minutes, and you just don't want to play it a full half like that. You need to offer something going forward.
Steve Seddon booked for leaving too much on Connor Barron. Sorry, Mark.
Listen, it was a poor challenge. You could quite clearly see he was never getting there. He deserved the booking. He was late in Barron. Rangers full at Motherwell at the minute.
Yeah, now Tierney's doing step overs, but James Tavernier's control is woeful. They get lucky because they do get it back, but of course give it away to Motherwell, who can't really get up the pitch. And Gordon, like we said, usually you would say, you can't just sit in and hope you win 1-0, but for long parts of the first half it looked like Motherwell might manage that. But now obviously different proposition.
And since it went 1-1, you're just looking at where the Motherwell backline is. They're going further and further back. They're inviting the pressure on from Rangers. I said it, all credit to Dessers. It was a good goal, well worked with Barron. I thought it was horrendous defending from Motherwell, I really did. But the next goal has got to be the important one here. And you would probably sit there now and fancy Rangers to go on now and win this game. But I agree with the boys, it's a hard watch.
Maybe a change from Motherwell. I noticed Tom Sparrow was moving around in the technical area. That's poor from Diamande. It gives it to Caleta, who just
guy can shift,
forward.
Can't he?
Yeah.
Really impressive stuff. And so can Maswanisi. He's just not quite as strong, but he's much quicker than Balogun. Unfortunately, the touch is not good and it goes out of play.
Balogun does well there, because the centre back you don't want dragged out into wide areas with a guy like Masmanisi, but he just leans on him enough to put him off in that second touch. Rangers get away.
He was excellent from Caleta, wasn't he?
He looks a good player, by the way.
Where's he from?
He's on loan from Wolves, I think. He's not really played because Stephen O'Donnell and Paul McGinn on the right side had done really well at the start of the season.
He's got a good turn of pace about him.
I thought he played well against Celtic last week before tiring, which was maybe inevitable. But yeah, Motherwell need something because they find themselves level 54 gone. I suppose it's just the difference, Mark, is the being under the caution. Hold on, we'll hold that, because it feels like the players are struggling with their footing a bit today. Diomande slipped, then Wilson slipped, and then Diomande got it back. Czerny left-footed, blocked, but Barron's in there.
You don't want to let Czerny come in that left foot too often.
It's off the post from Jeff Tate.
What an effort that was, I've got to say. Goalkeeper beating hands down.
That was a great effort from Jeff Tate. Just whacked it first time.
Did he save it? Did it come right back off the post?
I think it came off the post. I mean, we've had a mile go Oxborough for looking jittery, but I don't think that had anything to do with the goalkeeper. It's just a fantastic strike.
Great technique into it, right over it. The goalkeeper
saves it. Great save onto the post.
Let's give
Let's give the goalkeeper all the credit in the world there. That's a terrific save. Probably keeps Motherwell in this cup tie with that save just now. It was a great effort. Motherwell making a substitution as well. I don't blame him. I think he needs to try and change one or two things.
He's on a booking setting,
and
he's got Czerny running at him all day. But a reshuffle of the pack, Gordon, you'll know better.
Well, Steve, Tom Sparrow's not a wing back, so
who'll get in there?
Ewan Wilson will go left wing back, and Tom Sparrow will play in where Wilson played in midfield, you would imagine.
So we're on for your extra time as it stands.
I'm hoping not. I hope I'm wrong.
Your eyes stinging watching.
I don't know if I could do another 30 minutes of this.
Come on, you're supposed to talk the game up, remember?
Yeah, I'm trying to do my best, Gordon, but everybody knows I'd just be fibbing.
The pitch is looking good though. we often moan about the pitch. The players are slipping a lot in a buzz. Good surface. Hampden takes a battering from time to time, does it not?
Oh, it's poor from Jeffy down the line.
It's just a struggle.
It's poor from everyone, really, in terms of possession. Not one team able to take control for even 60 seconds, just knocking it about. So many people giving the ball away.
Where are we? 56 and a half gone. Motherwell 1, Rangers 1. That Andy Halliday opener, the difference between the sides at the break. But 4 minutes into the second half, Cyril Dessers, who's had a really tough day in front of goal up until that point. He's had a tough run. I think it was 8 without a goal heading in to this one today, but he has got his goal today and we are level. Still not the type of performance that will excite the Rangers fans, Hugh. Although, like we said, maybe this harsh reality is those days have kind of gone for now. You wonder where that would really come from and what it would look like.
Once again, very interesting at 5 o'clock when we open the phone lines, because I think those at Hampden watching this will say, right, good, it's 1-1 and we've got a chance, but this is rubbish. The Rangers fans will be saying that because it's just so unlike. Our two preeminent clubs, Celtic and Rangers, are expected to play in a certain way, and one of them does and the other one is miles away from it.
I suppose if there's just one day that the result is definitely priority, it's semi-final. Hugh's right though, no one's going to start singing and dancing about the performance, but get over the line and take it from there.
Yeah, because nobody remembers the semi-finals after that, Gordon. It's all about the final. You've got to get there. Look, it may be ugly, but the Rangers manager would take a 2-1 right now with this performance and probably be quite happy. As we see Tavernier again, the quality of ball.
There's not a way of describing it as he's having a nightmare in possession. Giving the ball away, kicked out of the pitch. You highlighted in the first half. His crossing has been abysmal. And another one there just floated in aimlessly right in the Oxborough's hand.
I was going to say there's two things, right? That's just a dreadfully executed cross that goes high, but what was the intention?
Well, I don't know. Who's he moaning at there?
Even if that goes well, who is the? It's not really a crossing opportunity as such, is it?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't think so. No, he's having a nightmare. But you think at this stage, as a manager, you look at that and think, maybe it's worth changing. I know the full-back position isn't a popular one to change within a game, but if you're getting so much of the ball in the full-back areas...
my Motherwell free kick just passed it right to Dessers. They were lucky they got away with that. They just need to be careful, Motherwell. They're still in this cup tie. They're just hoping that something can fall for them, but they can't give anything away cheaply.
To be fair, Mark, I think nowadays I don't think it's that unusual, is it, to change a full back if you're looking for that freshness and get up and down. And
well, they'll get Sterling.
It must be in the
well.
thinking. It must be in the thinking. You've got Sterling. Who else? You've got Casemiro's there as well. And we see Clement having a chat to his coaches there. But here come Motherwell, a rare foray into the Rangers half.
Connor Barron's done well today, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He wins it back, but Stamatolopoulos still has it with Caleta in the corner. They just don't really look like they know how to get out properly, and they do come across to Miller, but then it's really back with the back four. That's a better pass.
Great ball.
Tom Sparrow with the chance, edge of the box. Here's Maswinisi. It's blocked out for maybe a goal kick in the end. Yeah, I think it came back off him. It's a big chance for Motherwell.
I think if Maswinisi takes another touch here, I didn't think it was on to shoot, but maybe tries to go round Suter. I think he's got the pace to nick by him there.
Yeah, picks the wrong option. Agree with that.
Better play from Motherwell. Good forward pass there into Sparrow.
So it's a war of attrition now. It's a case of who holds the nerve, gets a second goal. I think if there is a second goal within regulation time, I think it'll be the last goal in the match.
You've went early that prediction, Hugh.
Yeah, well, they're two bad lots.
Yeah, Motherwell just sitting in nice and deep, compact, making it difficult for Rangers. Rangers dominating most of the possession. So I think there'll be another goal in this game. There's got to be.
We're on a similar schedule, remember, at Easter Road. They're a bit ahead of us at Hampden, but Hibs won, Dundee United 0. Still that Lewis Miller goal, so that would be a shock in terms of the league table. But I suppose should Hibs winning at home ever really be that much of a shock? Just depends on if you've seen them this season or not. It's better from Rangers. They're in the box and it's over the bar, and it is the skipper, James Tavernier. He's leaning back. He can't seem to get anything right today. It goes over the top.
I think he's got to do better. I think if he's on his toes, I think he's putting that ball in the back of net. It's a great ball played in.
He's got to hit the target.
It's an open goal.
It's a sitter home goal from 7 yards out, maybe.
That sums his day up. He's just having one of those days, the Rangers captain, and that certainly summed it up there, because that should be in the back of the net.
Better from Rangers in terms of getting to the byline. It's Barami that gets the byline, but Caleta just switches off, and right away he's got a runner off the back of him. So again, Motherwell concentration levels were past the hour mark, maybe starting to wane a little. Tire mentally.
Hugh, does that enter sitter territory for you? That James Tavernier one?
That just go back to his press conference where he said they thought he had a good season so far, and it got all sorts of responses, none of them favourable, and unfortunately for James Tavernier, he has had a shocker all day.
Here it comes.
Sophie Balmer with a long throw from miles out, gets it into the box, edge of the ball. That's when you see it sat nicely for him. It's not an easy chance, but you're looking to do better than hitting it as far over the bar as he did from the edge of the box.
And you're looking for someone like Lennon Miller, technically very good at keeping that down. Maswinisi, he's got bodies in front of him, but he needs to do better.
Here's the substitutions coming now.
Yeah, Jair Tavares and Zach Robinson on, Tawanda Maswinisi and Apostolos Stamatolopoulos go off, so it's really just the front two for the front two.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because they've done a lot of running. He's wanting to freshen it up. Rangers have dominated most of the ball in the second half, so he needs something to get him up the pitch as well. So I'm not surprised that he's made the substitutions.
Jair Tavares on loan from Hibs, of course, hasn't really done much in a Motherwell shirt, not really contributed a great deal, so what an opportunity this would be to change that.
Well, we've
still got Tony Watt on the bench, incidentally.
Yeah, I forgot about Tony.
He doesn't play much, does he? Does he feature much for Motherwell now?
Yeah, well,
he start many games?
No, he doesn't start many now, but obviously
he's on loan, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Dundee United.
That's why he wasn't involved the other night, because it was Dundee United, his parent club. But yeah, usually would be one of the first ones on, so maybe a slight surprise there.
Well, Motherwell, you can see how deep they're falling now.
They're going further and further back. It's just hopeful balls, isn't it?
You wonder in Rangers training if they work on crossing for 40 yards it, because they do an awful lot. You know, not to kind of have that in your head as a player. Because you see Motherwell work their way up to 40 yards. They don't cross the ball from that distance out. But Rangers, it is a constant theme in their play.
I'm a bit worried for Motherwell here. They're just getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually.
It's never deliberate though, is it? I don't think. You just, when the other team has the ball, and if the starting position, Rangers just fire out a play again. I mean, the starting position there from Robinson and Tavares, Gordon, they are trying to be around the halfway line,
and they've been brave with two up top as well. But if you're going to get up, and this is where I'm talking about being brave, you've got to get some decent quality into the strikers and say, look, take us up the pitch, hold the ball, give us a bit of a rest at the back, go and support them. But it's just hopeful balls just now.
I know we all love amateur psychology, but Philippe Clement looks like a man who's living with the strain of it all. He just doesn't look comfortable there. He doesn't look as if he's really fully in control of himself, never mind the team.
Dundee have shuffled a couple of things at half time as they try and get themselves level in the second half. McGee and Mulligan on for Ingram and Cameron. 2-1 to Kilmarnock up at Dens, remember, at the break. We're much further ahead. Hibs against Dundee United 1-0 to the Hibernians. But Dundee, there was some sort of medical emergency, I think was the latest, in the crowd before the game, and therefore it kicked off much later than advertised. But still 2-1 to Killie at the moment. 1-0 Hibs. And crucially in the big one, Motherwell 1, Rangers 1 at Hampden with 65 minutes gone.
25 minutes then for Philippe Clement to get the result. It doesn't, I was going to say, it doesn't matter what it looks like. We know what it looks like. It looks awful. But
I've never seen that before, sorry.
Throwing the ball
Balmer at a halfway line, using his long throw to throw it back to his goalkeeper.
Why
and by
not?
the way, it's worked because they've got it the other side brilliantly.
A chance for Andy Halliday to put a ball in. It's not a bad.
No,
It's too
the
lucky.
goalkeepers.
It's his Rangers connections there, putting in for deep, big floating one
Yeah,
right in the Hillsborough's hand.
Wasn't the worst idea because I think Tavares had got round the back.
Oh, trouble here for Motherwell.
Oh, good run, Cherney. Here comes Barami, and it's blocked and then hacked away.
Oh, it's a brilliant block from Casey, but they're still under pressure.
Yeah, Motherwell just scrambling it clear again. Throw in Rangers midway inside the half.
But they're just defending for their lives.
Yeah,
Motherwell.
yeah.
They've got to get a bit tighter.
Rangers are turning the screw.
It's a good little ball. I thought Sparrow got a touch on that there.
Another one of those occasions where one Rangers player get in the way of another Rangers player.
Desser's off and Danilo on. We've not seen a lot of him. He's been injured, of course. James Tavernier off and Dujon Sterling on. The Rangers captain has had a miserable day, Mark.
Oh, he's had an absolute nightmare, and there's no other way of putting it. You know, every cross floated or into the goalkeeper's hand, passing it out the pitch. To compound all that, he misses a sitter from 7 yards just moments ago. So not one to remember for him, and the right change in my opinion. But Danilo, when did you see him last?
The 6-0 against Ross County.
That's right.
At Hampden, remember he came on and scored, and he's not been seen since. He's been injured, of course, and he's not in the European squads. But he has been back in about it. But
he's on the bench.
He's on the bench.
Yeah. But decided to go with Danilo.
It's an interesting shout, isn't it?
Yeah, because Zigamani's been involved.
It's a now typical Philippe Clement shout.
It's the old Timboa here. The old Timboa.
Yeah,
Danilo's name came out.
To be fair, I would have probably put the two of them on and tried something different.
I mean, Desser's, we're just going to go around in circles on this. He got his goal, Gordon, and it might be the goal that gives Rangers the platform to go through to the final. You could not describe this as a good performance from him, though. So whether we're any further forward or any progress has been made from him, it's difficult to say.
I'm cutting him a little bit of slack. He's not been good, right? He's been poor, he's been terrible form, but he's got a very important goal this afternoon for Rangers. And he took it well, to be fair to him. He was good movement in the box, Barn done brilliantly, but his overall play has been really, really poor, Gordon.
And the same applies to James Tavernier. But old fashioned as I am, for a Rangers captain to be taken off in a semi-final is an embarrassment for him.
Nearly half an hour to go.
Yeah, and pushing for the winner, and he's somebody that the club's relied upon year after year, set piece situations, but Clermont is obviously seen enough. It's the right decision, and probably a decision it could have and should have been made earlier in the season in certain games, but he's made it now, and time will tell if it's the right one.
Great ball.
That's a great ball, by the way.
Motherwell in the box, but it was just a bit weak from Tom Sparrow. He
didn't have the belief, did he?
Jelly legs a bit.
Yeah, it's a terrific run, terrific ball. I think he's got to do a bit better there. I really do. I think he's in a great opportunity. He just didn't look like he had the belief.
Yeah, I think he's trying to cross it, isn't he? It's not a shot, but it's not really a cross either.
No.
I think he's got to shoot there.
Yeah, it's a great run, I've got to say.
Who played the pass? I missed it, I have to say. Good defending Motherwell. Rangers tried to get Cherney in, and Balmer came across well and cleared the danger. 69 gone, Motherwell won, Rangers won.
I think they just need to get up a level and press the ball a wee bit quicker, Motherwell, in situations where Rangers are passing it along the back four, but they're 10-15 yards into Motherwell's half. I think they've been stung with a forward run a couple of times, obviously from the goal from Barami just moments after, and they're worried about those gaps in behind. But you're going to end up defending your 6-yard line if you're not careful.
Yeah, and then that's where it's difficult, because Zach Robinson actually does really well and holds it and gives it to Coletta back the way, but then he panics and then he kind of hacks it into an area where Rangers are able to just pick it up. So we've said this from the start, actually, don't be fooled. This hasn't been a good Motherwell performance. It's just Rangers were, really off it, and they're in the box here. Good save, Aston Oxborough, really good save. Cherney low, looked like it was going to squirm into the corner. Aston Oxborough stuck out a big paw and pushed it away.
Yeah, but if you're Stuart Kettlewell, I'd be a bit good effort there. I'd be a bit worried. You get done with a 1-2.
They look tired though.
They do. Listen, they've not been great today, but you've got to go with the runners. You've got to pick them up. You've got to have that desire. You're still in this semi-final of the Cup. Just too easy, one ball, but it's a terrific save from the goalkeeper.
I think to give credit to Rangers, much better, because that's what the Rangers fans want to see. Those little kind of interactions
rather
about the penalty.
Yeah,
and Cherney does well, because he doesn't look like he's getting behind Balmer, but here's Motherwell coming, chance to cross.
I'll tell you what, see if that was, if that's a
good ball,
a simple ball, I think Tavares is in.
Yes, I totally
just has
agree
to square it across.
Totally agree. Disappointing.
I know this is all about the Cup semis, but game of the day at Dens 2-2.
Oh, of course it is.
Jordan McGee on at the break with a header, ball in from Adewumi. Killy were 2-0 up, and it's level.
Here's another throw. Here's another throw coming, 50 yards.
Yeah, Kofi Balmer, he can actually swerve it as well. He puts swerve on his throws. I do think when they're from that far out.
Now they're caught.
Majorly.
Where's
Cherney's through here. Coletta's trying to keep up with him. But he's into the box. Cherney, Coletta
he does well to get back.
Great defending. Great defending. I thought he'd been done there, but all credit to a lad. That is terrific defending from him, because Motherwell were caught there. They just need to be careful.
Yeah, big chance. Well, it didn't come to a chance, if you like, but an opportunity for Rangers. I think the one thing that looks really clear, Motherwell look tired.
They look dead in their feet, Gordon.
The legs don't seem to be moving very well anymore.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of tired
There's a long
bodies
way to go.
Exactly, especially if they get through the 90 minutes and then you get another 30.
But who shouldn't be tired is the two front men that they've just brought on. I think they need more from them in terms of running out of possession, and then when they get the ball, offering something better than what they're doing. But by the way, Coletta does so well. Is it him? It's down with cramp.
Yeah,
because he's beat by Cherney, but recovers well. Maybe Cherney gives him the opportunity because he wants to come back in that left foot. I think if he keeps going his right and just hits it, he's got a chance at a shot and goal.
And this is where, again, just to go back to it, I know Rangers are not a good version of themselves, but budgets and squad size and all that stuff, and Motherwell now don't have Stephen O'Donnell and don't have Paul McGinn, so that's why Coletta's playing. He doesn't play a lot. He's got cramp with 20 minutes to go in a cup semi. Do you have anyone else really that you can bring on at right wing back? This is where it gets really tough.
Yeah, or you have to go and change your formation. I don't think you'll want to do that.
No.
You are missing the experience of McGinn and O'Donnell, of course you are, but looking at this game, there's the next goal is going to come from Rangers. The way the pattern's going here, I think Stuart Kettlewell's got to be active with his substitutions. There are a lot.
He's made 3 though.
Many's he still got 2?
Oh, 2, but
yeah. So
good math.
Yeah, so he's got to. For me, I think you've got to give another 2 bodies on. I know that.
Who would you move then to right wing back if Collette's coming off? You don't want to lose him. I know he's tired, but he's someone who can defend. He's just shown there. But if you need it, carry the ball. I know he's tired, but who's your other options?
I think once you start cramping, it becomes more than tiredness, though, doesn't it? You're just, if the legs don't move, Hugh, and somebody tries to take you a run, then you're in trouble.
He's absolutely spent.
Oh yeah, he's off. Anyway,
yeah, Shane Blaney, your pal from the golf day.
Yeah, the big golfer.
But you hammering him. Think of that boy's confidence now going on.
He'll know I'm watching him.
Shane Blaney is a left back or a left centre back.
So who you moving to wing back then?
Well, it depends. Is he not just going on there anyway?
On to right wing back?
Again, there are no options.
Motherwell
really.
are just in a horrible position here because they're dead on their feet, and even if they survive to extra time,
Dan Casey at right wing back.
He might be a bit mobile.
He's a big laddie, Dan Casey,
and he's playing against Jeffy, who's a flying machine, in Barami, and just in front of him, it would be an area. If you're the Rangers manager and the Rangers players, you're looking to target.
Yeah, Motherwell need that pressure taken off. Although you could be critical the other way. I'm not really sure what the ball is from Rangers. It's just a long, hopeful diagonal. Aston Oxborough comes all the way out to the edge of his box to collect.
He'll just want to take the sting out of this, won't he? For a few settings. But again, it's just launched from Motherwell yet. They can't get anywhere up the pitch.
I think Balogun's done quite well. A lot of criticism about.
I like Balogun. I think he gives him a bit of stability at the back with his pace. He thought maybe his days were playing every single week with Proper come in, but he's seen that challenge off because obviously Rangers manager doesn't fancy Proper just now. The centre pairings obviously Suter and Balogun, and I think he's done okay today. I really do. Here's another one of the throw-ins.
Well, he can't throw it for there, surely.
Yes, he can.
He'll reach it, but I think once you're from there, like we said, it's then so high that the centre backs are able to just
have a runny on it like they did
a run and jump
for the last one.
It's not.
How do you get that talent? You can throw that long.
That's ridiculous on it. Look at that. It does reach the box as well. But as predicted, Rangers make it. Good second win from Andy Halliday. It's disastrous from Rangers. Tavares is in here. He cuts it back. Tom Sparrow takes a touch and it's just blocked by Conor Barron at the edge of the box. That was a chance for Motherwell. I think the flag goes up in the end. They just looked a bit tentative, Gordon. That opened up a couple of times.
Yeah, Rangers were all over the place defensively. They were bumping into each other again. Tavares gets down the left hand side. He's slightly off, plays it a bit behind. Comes to Sparrow. I think he's got to take that with his left foot. I think he's got to go on with his left foot, but he wanted to get it on his stronger one. And Rangers, Balogun, you're talking, he's down with cramp as well. So it's all happening here at Hampden.
Well, we'll see Proper coming on if Balogun's struggling. Yeah, I agree with you with Sparrow there. I know it's offside. Take it with your eye.
Looks got to.
Like lacking confidence.
Is there a slight touch from someone in front or a covering Ranger defender that just puts somebody off? No, sorry, that's the initial one. Is it Liam Gordon who's in the edge of the box anyway? It is an opportunity that goes a begging for Motherwell. Hugh. It's not a huge chance, but it shows you that this is not. It's not a formality that Rangers get the next goal.
No, which is again to Motherwell's credit, but no credit to Rangers at all, because they're playing a team, and I know Balogun has problems with cramp, but this whole Motherwell side are out on their feet.
Proper's not even warming up.
No, he's still
Casemiro.
Still got his jacket on. I mean, that's how far out the picture he is now.
That's incredible. He's sitting there. They're brought in for a big game.
You're in the cup semi-final and you're the fourth choice.
Yeah. So it shows you he'll probably be wanting back home.
When he subbed him against St Mirren, it was an open declaration of, you're no use to me.
And that is the problem, because I think in the last couple Casemiro's had shaky moments as well, but physically you'd fans. I think if you're Zach Robinson as an example, and you see Proper coming on, you probably think I can bump him, whereas maybe Casemiro is a bit more adept at handling that, although again he's had some shaky moments as well.
But he's more mobile. That's the thing. I always thought that with Proper. Since I seen him against Motherwell actually in his debut, I'm sure it was, I thought, doesn't look like he can shift quick, and it's been proven. But once again, Rangers now on the attack. wanting to get themselves in front.
It was well done, Lennon Miller, but it goes through to Raskin anyway.
Yeah.
It's actually been quiet, but I suppose Motherwell haven't really had much of the ball, so if you're the ball player in the Motherwell team, then you would be forgiven for
it's
not
been
being
a hard
involved.
shift. It's been a hard shift for Motherwell players. They've just went there, they've got the goal, they've defended 1-1, they're still in the cup tie, but you just wonder, there's probably another couple of chances in this for Rangers away. They're starting to knock at the door. If they can get some quality into the box, I think that's been their fault this afternoon.
Yeah, there's a bit of space for Czerny. He goes to roll it to Jeffy. He's going to fire it, but off the back
knocked him out
of a Motherwell player. Actually,
my word! What are we watching here?
Diamandi went for the spectacular.
I have to say,
even Jeffy's shot.
I thought that hit Balmer on the back, and he was giving it, pretending that it hit his head, but I could be wrong because my eyesight's not brilliant. Either way, there is a delay in play.
Jeffy goal with the inside of the foot again.
He tried to do the big bender, didn't he? Did he not?
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see it again.
Yeah, inside. You're right. Look, he's trying to.
Yeah, it just hits. Yeah. But he, again, doesn't look confident, does he, Jeff? Is striking the ball with his laces, just putting his laces.
I was never getting near the target. I was getting away from the target.
Dundee United potential penalty, VAR check.
What we like to hear.
Hibs are
That's what we like to hear.
Hibs' ability to make things difficult for themselves late in games is spectacular.
Have they lost a goal?
Do you know hear what I said? A potential penalty to
Dundee
United.
Sorry, I thought he says Dundee. My apologies.
Chance for Czerny now.
Yeah.
Ball spread wide,
running
to
at
run at Wilson.
Can he find Barami? Yes,
ball.
he can. Is this going to be the one? And it is.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
Rangers take the lead. It's Motherwell 1, Rangers 2. Nadeem Barami. It was a sweeping move. Motherwell gave it away. Rangers come forward. Czerny to Barami, and I think a clipped finish over Aston Oxborough. Again, he's another one that's probably struggled today, but that could be the moment that takes Rangers through to the final.
I think it is. I don't think there's anything left in Motherwell now. So Rangers have got there in the end. I'm really interested in what the fans make of it when they call here at 5 o'clock. It has been an undistinguished performance, to say the least of it. But Barami, who has been very, very quiet, ineffectual, has probably put Rangers into a final with Celtic.
It takes a huge deflection, actually. I was giving him credit. I thought he'd dinked the goalkeeper. It's actually quite fortunate. He hits it low and it bounces off the heel of Balmer and then bounces up over Aston Oxborough.
Sore one to lose that goal, but
do you think the goalkeeper can do better there?
The deflection bounces up over him when he's gone low.
Get his hand up. Anyway, from a Rangers point of view, I think it was a well worked goal again. Out to Czerny, who kept his width, and it's a good pass. Again, players willing to get in the box. Barami thought he took too long, but Balmer just giving himself too much to do to get across. And I agree with you. I don't think Motherwell have got much left in the tank.
Well, we said Dan Casey's had to go to right wing back, and Barami gets in the right wing back area.
By the way, I think, see, when you look at it, I think Danilo does well, because it's Danilo's powerful run forward that takes, is it Casey in, or who was it? Come on, the right centre back Blaney takes him in the pitch, leaving the big gap. So
I actually think there's more scope for a third Rangers goal.
Wouldn't it be
penalty? Dundee United, the chance to equalise in the last minute at Easter Road against Hibs. They just keep doing it, but only if the opportunity is taken, of course.
It was always going to be a big ask for Motherwell to sit in for 45 plus and defend.
You've got a chance with this Balmer throw.
Well, it's certainly,
because it's in a more dangerous area. This one, it's down maybe level between level with the penalty spot and edge of the box. Kofi Balmer gets it right into the mix. It's actually a towering header, but Jack Butland is going to come and collect. Miko Kukarevich sent off for a second yellow. Penalty given Dundee United.
I love a man getting sent off as well. Hibs, don't they?
Who take the penalty for Dundee United? Who takes them?
Babinski. Maybe
Jim Goodwin.
Ross Graham took one earlier in the season, but I can't remember if he's back in the team. He's been injured. I might have to double check for you, but
surely the skipper Babinski will step up and put it away.
Attention drawn to the end of this one at Hampden. Motherwell need to try and summon something, or they are heading home, and Rangers through to the final. 83.5 gone, and it's certainly, you couldn't really, Rangers have been poor, there is no doubt, but you couldn't really grudge them, I don't think.
No, they deserve to to get through, Gordon. They've dominated most of the match. Motherwell.
Sam Dalby has scored that penalty for Dundee United, and it's Hibs 1, Dundee United 1. Another late collapse by Hibs.
They love that, don't they?
Don't know, it's incredible.
They love that.
Incredible giveaway late goals.
Dalby's looked okay for Dundee United. Scored a good header midweek as well.
Really good. From loan from Wrexham.
So it's 1 win in 12 for Hibs now. You know, it's just headed one way.
It keeps them at the bottom of the league as well.
Yeah,
there was a great opportunity to leapfrog Hearts and give yourself a wee bit of confidence, but giving away late goals is not good. As Rangers are just running the clock down here. What, 5 plus added on? Motherwell need a miracle now, I think, to get back in. I think these guys are right. They're running, half of them are running on empty.
As much as the quality's still been poor, Rangers have been much better in the second half.
Yeah.
Much better. In terms of just getting into the Motherwell box and causing them problems, and you know, a few chances, few opportunities. I thought actually the goals well worked, but it's few and far between. You know, there's still a real lack of quality throughout the team.
Jeffy's turn to put a big long high ball in, and Danilo keeps it in, but only over by the corner flag. And then the cutback is poor, but you just don't suspect Motherwell have got the legs to break with any.
Oh, they've got a chance
they
here.
Actually have a bit of Tavares, but Casemiro's and Sterling, is fresh as well. He's brought him down. Oh, referee says no, actually, and play on.
That's good defending. That's good defending. And gives Rangers a chance to come out. They've really worked us down the left hand side very well in the second half.
Yeah, we said the one thing, you know, Jeffy gives you, that's why there was a frustration that he didn't play the other night, is the powerful running in an attacking sense. There's no doubt his defending for Motherwell's goal is amongst the worst you'll see, but in terms of stretching the game at the other end, here he goes again into the box, blocked away, corner, and I think there's another cramp episode. Let me say again, whether it's just squad size or whatever, Mark, that the game, and Rangers played obviously Wednesday night, but again, you would just expect the so-called smaller team Motherwell just look done.
Yeah, they do. You know, because they've been asked to cover a lot of ground, and you know, especially that back three has to cover back quite a lot of space to run back towards your own goal. Balmer there again, he's had to run all over the place though for taking through-in. So it was him down with cramp, wasn't it? You can excuse him
for, he slid in,
for having a wee bit of cramp. He's covered some distance today.
Yeah, corner to Rangers. Just going to be trying to run down the clock. They're in no rush. They're even waiting until someone ties their lace. Brilliant.
Well, now time for reflection. A win's a win. A cup final place is a cup final place. It's a scruffy win, but it gives you a game in the final against Celtic.
Well, we said that semi-finals are all about getting to the final and winning, but just the nature of and Mark's right, second half has been better from Rangers, no doubt about that.
But also no coincidence that probably comes when Motherwell are tired, so then there's more space where you can make passes that look simpler.
If the second half couldn't be better than the first, then you're in deep trouble.
I think, is that one finished yet? Not quite. That Hibs Dundee United still 1-1 in the closing stages, and I just wonder how the Hibs fans are going to take that.
Badly, because they're bottom of the league. They've still had one league win all season. The belated nature of Dundee United's goal, it all adds up to being generally unhappy. David Gray is in a horrible position. I can't help but feel it's a matter of time now before they change the manager.
Yeah, you can't go on not winning games, and giving away late goals.
You're a third of the season through, and you're bottom of the league. So another good ball.
Yeah, similar move to the last Rangers goal. This one doesn't quite come off. It's going to be a free kick to Motherwell. Not much in that, to be honest, but Zach Robinson goes down. Still 2-2 Dundee-Killie. Remember, there was a delay there, so we're 74 into that one. Killie were 2-0 up 5 minutes before the break, but Dundee got one back really quickly and added another just after the interval, and that's why we're still level there. Someone's taken a sore one. It's going to be a free kick to Motherwell. It just looked like more of a collision because they're both in pain. I actually thought it was Blaney who came through the back of Diomande. I think then Blaney came away with the ball. It's a strange one, a strange coming together.
Well, it's an opportunity to put a bit of pressure on Rangers, put the ball in the box. Hopefully they can get something. Yeah, it's a free kick. I thought the referee got that right.
Yeah, it is indeed when you see it back. Don't forget, as soon as this one's finished, you give us a call, 01419511025. If it stays this way, Rangers fans, how happy are you with progression to the final? Or how much work is there still to be done in performance levels? We're not finished yet, but maybe just get the number dialed up, get it saved, get ready to hit dial when this one finishes. Lennon Miller's just going to float a free kick. It's not an easy one. It was a dreadful delivery from him. Just wonder if him and Casey were on the same page, because he tried to do a diagonal out the way and it just goes out for a throw in.
It's a missed opportunity, that, because a minute to go, got the chance to put that right on top of the Rangers back line. He just gets it all wrong. Young man, he's been quiet today, but I think that's, he can't do it all himself, of course. It's just been the nature of the game, the way it's been played out. Very little influence in it.
Andy Halliday penalised for a handball, just sort of jumped up and tried to stop it as Barron tried to flick it over his head. He's Motherwell's goal scorer in the first half, but that goal overtaken by one from Dessers and one from Barami. The Rangers heading to the League Cup final unless something drastic happens in the closing stages. If anything, it might be Rangers who score again, because Diamande's in. Danilo controls it up off his own face, I think.
Yeah, it's a free kick.
Handball?
Yeah. Yeah, handball. But they're getting a lot of joy down the left hand side.
6 minutes.
Rangers have worked it side to side well in this second half, and that's what's tired Motherwell out. You have to shift across time and time again. But Daz is right. Down this left hand side, they've been good with Jeffrey and Barami.
Motherwell's long free kick just well won though by the Rangers centre backs, and you would expect more space to open up for Rangers here. Try to thread Danilo. He's cut out, and then Lennon Miller comes and gets it. Motherwell not really managing to get it clear. Still good harrying from Conor Barron at this stage in the game. He's been
good
everywhere
today. Yeah, he's worked very hard. He's a fan's favourite. They like him. They like the way he goes about his business in the middle of the park. He puts in a shift, you've got to say. And Rangers look like they're going to be in the final against Celtic December 15th, is it?
It is indeed. Yep. It is indeed.
They'll certainly have to play a lot better then if they're in the final, because it's not been great watch this afternoon.
Yeah, Conor Barron goes down, free kick under the attentions of Shane Blaney. So Rangers just going to run this down. 6 added, a minimum of 6. We've played 1 minute, 1.5 of that. So we're edging our way through to the end of this one.
Well, this one has been a strange one. Shocking first half from Rangers, better in the second half. The captain taking off with half an hour to go. Dessers finally gets a goal after 2 bad misses. It's just been an odd afternoon for Rangers, and they are not a good side. They are a hard team to watch. But
Motherwell thought the ball had gone out twice. Now eventually it's given. Strange from the officials.
I think we're at the stage with Rangers where you have to be grateful for small mercies, and they're in the final, and that is all that can be said for the afternoon, really. But again, I hand it over to the eyewitnesses who call here at 5 o'clock, or if they were watching on television, give us their impression. But you cannot be happy with this week in, week out.
I don't think they are though, and that was evident before today and wouldn't be changed either way by today. Fair play to Rangers in this later stage though, because every time Motherwell lump it forward, they really are dealing with it fine, and it's not nervy at all, which it can sometimes be when you're 2-1 up.
I think aerially the centre halves for Rangers today, whoever it's been, but particularly Souttar's won most things that's came his way.
Yeah.
And there again,
there's going to be one chance, more than one chance because of the time. There's still 3 minutes to go, but I mean, one more throw in perhaps for Kofi Balmer to go over on that far side. His mileage is quite
run
high.
Over there and throw that ball
100%. It's like a corner, so you might as well.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
it's got to be one of those flat ones, and give your centre forward or something a chance, or centre back a chance to flick it on.
Yeah, the Hampden pitch is a bit wider than for Park. He'll still reach the box easily, but can he get that same flat trajectory on it? We will see.
Big high one for it's dreadful. It's great. I think it actually slips out his hands a wee bit when he goes to throw it.
He was trying to dry it off.
Yeah.
Too easy for Butland to come out and take it.
Just thinking the analysis, Kettlewell pulls him up for that.
Yeah.
This is what you're in the team for. And look, you can't get it right.
Right, so where are we? Václav Černy's just been given man of the match inside the stadium, I suppose. Well, you're scoffing, but Gordon and
who else? I would say that was accurate.
Do you know?
First half, absolutely not. But then, as we said, who else?
He's been the most dangerous Rangers player, you've got to say. Had a hand in the goals, both goals. So I think it's an easy one.
He's been the least poor player.
Yeah,
that's a good shout. That
would be a fair way of looking at it. 94 gone, so 2 left for Motherwell to try and muster something. They don't really look likely. They haven't for a long time.
Nah, they've offered nothing second half.
I know it's difficult, but Tavares, he needs to press the ball there. He's not long. Just try and be. If you lose one the other side, then who cares? But
I know in theory he's like a winger and would be quicker. I wonder if the Motherwell fans, and they're welcome to call, I wonder if they're surprised at him being the one put on
rather than Tony
Watt.
I'm not surprised to see Zach Robinson, because he's led the line this season and kind of swapped with Stamatopoulos.
Yeah, I was surprised at, because Tony Watt, he's an experienced player. He can grab you a goal. He's something.
Or Moses Abiy, he's on the bench, who scores a lot of late goals.
That's right.
Really surprised at Tavares being the one out of those 3 to come on.
Well, both of them have done nothing, Robinson or Tavares, since they've come on. Put very little pressure on the Rangers backline as well. Both of them have been poor.
Yeah, Rangers just going to run this into a corner. We've passed the 95, so if they can be efficient in the next few passes, that will probably be that. Diomande goes into the corner.
Got to be careful here.
And, actually trying to score again, Rangers, and they might, because it's fallen for Černy in the box. He shifts it away from Miller, and it's hit the post, but here it is Diomande. And he gets it all wrong. That sums up the finishing today. Rangers should have made that 3. That's quite dreadful in front of goal.
I think somebody should put together a compilation of all the horrendous finishes today. They'll have quite a piece, because would have been offside maybe anyway. It goes back off the post, but wow, it's gone way wide before anyone gets a touch.
Yeah, almost there. It's a throw in, Rangers on the halfway line. So again, pretty much done and dusted. Rangers fans, Motherwell fans, give us a call right now. We're here until 6 o'clock, so loads of time to take your calls. And Jeffy does well. And is that it? No, it's just a free kick. Yeah, I think Motherwell players know they've not even been able to muster that sort of nervy end for Rangers, have they?
Nothing. They're dead in their feet, Gordon. They really are. And Rangers just taking their time, just running down the clock now, quite rightly so. Yeah,
Jesty's going to flight it, and that will be that. Full time at Hampden. Let's go to Andrew McLean.
Motherwell 1, Rangers 2, the full-time score at Hampden. It was boos at half-time from the Rangers supporters, but it's cheers at the end of the game. Despite the fact that it was a display that was far from convincing from Philippe Clement's men, they've come from behind to seal their spot in the Premier Sports Cup final. The first half, there was a real lack of quality. Both teams continually giving the ball away, slack passing, unable to create much at all. Rangers had a few half chances, couldn't get past Aston Oxborough in the Motherwell goal. When Motherwell got forward for the first time 24 minutes in, they managed to take the lead, and it was former Rangers man Andy Halliday that got it. It was Maswanise who got in behind the Rangers defence. It was worked out to Steve Seddon on the left, a really nice cross to the back post, and Andy Halliday caught Jeffy sleeping. He launched himself towards the ball, managed to get the contact and found the bottom corner. He didn't celebrate, but all of his teammates and the Motherwell supporters did as they went 1-0 up. Aston Oxborough then had to make another couple of saves before the break. One big one from Diomande. It was palmed into the path of Cyril Dessers. The goal was gaping, but somehow he managed to put that one wide. A big chance missed for him before the break, but he took one just after. The ball worked into the box from the right. Connor Barron cutting it across, and this time the first time finish from Cyril Dessers. Found the back of the net and equalised for Rangers. They almost took the lead through Jeffy. It was a volley, but a really good save from Oxborough down to his right, tipped that one onto the post. James Tavernier also missed a sitter when the ball was flashed across the box by Nadim Bayrami. Oxborough then made a really nice low stop to deny Černy after that. He'd linked up with substitute Danilo. Černy though was central to the winning goal that came in the final 10 minutes. A bursting run forward, finding Bayrami. He was at a really tight angle, but he got a big slice of luck because the defender sliding in front of Oxborough when the shot was put in hit the heel of the defender, looped over Oxborough, and into the back of the net to complete the comeback. They should have scored a third right to the death. Cherny hitting the post, Diamandi messing up the rebound, but they got the win. They'll meet Celtic in the final next month. Plenty of question marks still over performance levels though, but Rangers have got the victory at Hampden. The full-time score, Motherwell 1, Rangers 2.
What did you make of it then? 0141 951 1025. Congratulations to Rangers for joining Celtic in the final. What did you make of it, Rangers fans? Is it all about that progression? How much does that cheer you up? How much does it please you? Or are there still worries about that performance level in the first half? You let us know. 0141 951 1025, and we'll take your calls next.
0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's Open Line.
Rangers are through to the League Cup final Sunday, December the 15th. Get the diary out. Celtic against Rangers. It was a 2-1 win against Motherwell. They were 1-0 down at the break. Loud boos at half time. They turned it around in the second half thanks to Cyril Dessers and Nadim Barami after Andy Halliday had given Motherwell the lead. So give us your calls right now please. 0141 951 1025. What did you make of it? It's full time as well at Easter Road. Let's get a quick update there from Lana Mackay.
Yep, Gordon, full time at Easter Road, and it's Hibs 1, Dundee United 1, and it's happened again. Late drama at Easter Road as Dundee United score right at the end of the game again to deny Hibs a second win of the season. David Gray's side could have risen to 9th in the table if they'd managed to hold on, but they remain bottom of the league. United were awarded a penalty after a late VAR check after Mikola Kurakovic pulled down Emmanuel Adegboyega in the box, and the Ukrainian was sent off for a second booking. Sam Dalby made no mistake as he blasted in from the spot to snatch back a point for the visitors. It was Lewis Miller with a fantastic first half header from Jordan Obita's cross that fired the High Bees ahead. That was the Australians' first league goal this season, and it was a much livelier second 45. The tension was palpable from both sets of fans as the clock ticked on. The Hibs desperate to hang on to their fragile lead, and United fans urging their side to find that equaliser. Well, Lucas Stevenson almost got that leveller early in the second half. He got in down the right hand side and cut the ball back to David Babunski, but the Macedonian midfielder sent his shot wide. There was a bit of a shambles at the back for United when they almost allowed Hibs to double their lead. Kevin Holt tried to play it back to the keeper but couldn't put enough on his pass, and Jack Walton had to slide across to get there. The ball falls to Kwon, but he punted his shot wide. The United keeper was absolutely livid with his defender. Lewis Miller, the Hibs goal scorer, he was forced off with what seemed to be a problem with his foot. He made way for Jack Iredale at right back, and balls were flying into the box right at the end of the game here in what was a frantic last few minutes as 10-man Hibs desperately tried to find a winner. There was a late scrap of hope when VAR checked for a Hibs penalty, but nothing doing there. And Jim Goodwin's side have now avoided a third defeat on the bounce. They move up to 4th in the table after today's result, and they're becoming a bit of a hoodoo for the High Bees. Another devastating blow for David Gray's men. They were so close to getting that elusive second win of the season. Boos ring out here at full time, and it's Hibs 1, Dundee United 1.
Yeah, late collapse from Hibs. 01419511025. Our main focus, of course, that semi-final. Justin is a Rangers fan. Talk to us, Justin.
Oh, painful and nerve-wracking again,
it's
guys.
A semi-final win, and you should be celebrating getting to the final, no?
You would think so. But having to go through it the way we're going through games just now, I think most Rangers fans are going to feel pretty much the same way. It was a horror show at points again. The only thing you're slightly impressed with is the character, but some of the defending, I don't know how many times Diamandi gave the ball away in the middle of the park when he comes on. It's just chaotic at best. You'll take the result, of course you will, but the reason I was kind of touching base and phoning in was I think the writing's on the wall for Clermont regardless of what happened today. I think he's a kind of dead duck in the water, for want of a better word. I think if we had to get beat today and we hadn't managed to scrape that result, I think he was out the door tonight, to be totally honest. As I think the guys alluded to earlier on, I don't think the Rangers fans would have accepted it. I don't think today winning does him any favours either. It doesn't gloss over anything. I think the writing's on the wall for him, which is unfortunate. He seems like a nice guy, but I just don't think anything's working moving forward. It was just to see what you guys thought, or if I'm overreacting the way I've maybe some people think a lot of Rangers fans might be with the same thoughts.
I don't think you're overreacting, Justin. I said the same thing earlier, that had he lost the tie, he would have been out tonight. And it doesn't matter that they're playing Olympiacos in Greece midweek. He's not out the woods yet, because they do go there in the European tie, and then they have Hearts at Ibrox. Now, I know that Hearts are far from a big deal. They're down at the bottom, near the bottom, but he's on borrowed time. And if anything's dropped in the league against Hearts, then you get that international break which follows, and that's normally the time when clubs react. Rangers are 9 points behind Celtic and Aberdeen, cannot possibly afford to fall any further behind, so he's living game by game. Europe might be something of an embarrassment in midweek. When he comes back to play Hearts, he's got to win the match, and he's got to keep on winning league matches, because the first one he loses, if it takes Aberdeen and or Celtic 12 points away from him. And also, Justin, the thousands who did not go to Hampden today. This is Rangers in the semi-final of a National Cup competition, and Rangers could not sell their ticket allocation. Absolute proof that the fans in their thousands are turning their back on the team.
I've got to say, we said it earlier, when you get to a semi-final, most important thing's winning the game and getting to the final. We all know that. That's most important. But Rangers fans must look at this performances. They're a terrible watch. You can't get away from it. They're a terrible watch. You're going along there, a lot of people travelling from all over the world, paying money and having to sit and suffer that, because it is. You look at Motherwell today. Motherwell didn't play particularly well. They
played well at all.
No, exactly. They got a good goal. Andy Halliday, terrific.
Just
run.
Quickly, that late winner, Dundee. 4 minutes added on, and Dundee have gone and scored 2-0 down to Kilmarnock. Is that not the opposite?
Yeah,
Reverse.
Anyway. But getting back to Kilmarnock, I look at some of the players. For me, I don't think they're good enough to wear the jersey. They don't have any style of football. The first half there for 45 minutes was dreadful. To be fair to Rangers players, they come out, they dominated it, they deserved to win the semi-final. But as I keep getting back to it, I think you've got to be better. You've got to have a style of play. Rangers are a poor watch for me just now.
I suppose, Justin, because what it does mean is there is a place in the final for sure. But what Philippe Clement probably doesn't gain out of today is a game that he can reference to tell people that things are heading in the right direction. You couldn't use that today, could you?
Not at all. Not at all. It was a struggle. And the worrying point for me is kind of two worrying points for me. And a lot of Rangers fans I speak to are the same thing. Our two best players over the last month have been our two defensive midfielders. Barron, who apparently wasn't a first choice start come the start of the season, who's been head and shoulders our best player so far this season by a long way. And Raskin, somebody that's not been able to play through injury or whatever else since he's been here. They've been our two best players. Benrahma is non-existent. He's evaporates out of games for long periods. All right, he comes up and pulls in a goal today, but he's supposed to be a player we've brought in to create chances for us, to create chances for Dessers, and he's invisible for long periods of the game. But the second part is most of our play is between our two centre halves playing the ball across the back four. And I get that's obviously a strategy to pull the team about that we're playing against, to move them about the park. But unfortunately, the players that we've got aren't good enough to move the ball as quickly as we should be to draw those teams out. And what happens is we misplace a pass, we pass something too short, and the next thing it's letting the team right on top is in the top area of the 18-yard box. It's schoolboy stuff, and it's frustrating beyond belief. But if fans are watching it saying it, how can the board, how can the manager not be looking at it going, that's not working for us, we need to change it? I don't understand. It's madness for me. I just don't get it.
I think that is the bit that's missing, Hugh, is the bit, like we said, a sign things are heading in the right direction. That's all. Yeah. That's probably Rangers fans have now. I think they have reduced their expectations.
Yeah,
they would take that because all you're hearing from Philippe Clement just now, because he is obviously getting asked regularly, what makes you think this is heading in the right direction? And he generally says sort of, oh, look at the Malmo game or look at the Steaua Bucharest game. He needs more of them, but today wouldn't be that reference, would it?
No. And Justin's asking, how can other people not see that? I think that the other problem Rangers have, of course, is that there isn't a board. There's a bit of a board, but there's no permanent chairman, there's no CEO, etc., etc. Rangers as a football club, like the team on the park, are just stumbling week to week.
Thank you to Justin. What do you think? Any other Rangers fans out there a bit more optimistic, cheered up, at least for today, by that semi-final victory? Do give us a call. What about you Motherwell fans? It's a bit of a missed opportunity. Did you really do enough in that game? Give us a call on the same number and let us know. You'll be heading out of Hampden, so do get in touch. My goodness, Dave Galloway sent a message in the aftermath of that Dundee winner to say that the fans were soiling onto the pitch. I think I hope he meant spilling onto the pitch. I have to say, it's finished now. Dave Galloway, take it away.
Yes, spilling onto the pitch, I should have said. Yeah, what a game. Dundee 3, Kilmarnock 2 is how it has finished. An enthralling game in front of a crowd of 5,014. Kilmarnock actually threatened first. Matty Kennedy cut inside, he let fly from the edge of the box, but it was charged down. Dundee responded with an effort from Oluwasiun Adewumi, deflected for a corner after Simon Murray picked him out. A real clanger though from John McCracken, gifted Killie the lead. David Watson slung in a cross. It was headed up in the air by Bruce Anderson. McCracken caught, then dropped the ball, and Anderson had a tap in. Dundee hit back with Lyle Cameron's powerful 25-yard drive deflected behind. There was a blow for the visitors with Stuart Finlay stretchered off after a few minutes of treatment, but Kilmarnock doubled their advantage after 39 minutes. Danny Armstrong crossing for Matty Kennedy to head home, but 2 minutes later the Dark Blues were right back in it. They got a goal back. Adewumi crossed for Seb Palmer Holden to convert from a few yards out. And 10 minutes into the second half, it was 2-2. Adewumi once again with a really good bit of ammunition. He supplied the cross, and Jordan McGee rose very well to head into the net. Kilmarnock almost regained the lead when Matty Kennedy's free kick was met by Joe Wright, whose glancing header went just wide. He had his head in his hands after that. Scott Tiffany then came so close to putting Dundee ahead. For the first time, Seb Palmer Holden's header set up Scott Tiffany, and his low shot from the right hand side, it beat Robbie McCrory but went just wide of the far post. Then Zayed Larkesh saw his well struck shot superbly parried by McCrory. Late pressure from both sides as they went all out for the winner, and then in the 95th minute Dundee got it. Josh Mulligan, great play from him, and his shot was turned in by Larkesh. What a way to end a dramatic game. Really exciting. What is it about this fixture? Always loads of goals, always loads of entertainment. It's ended Dundee 3, Kilmarnock 2.
What a game, what a game indeed. The dramatic outcome. Fans were spilling onto the pitch. Just to clarify, we're going to speak to John, who's a Rangers fan. He's up after these.
The games are over. The talking begins. 0141 951 1025. Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard's Open Line.
Rangers are through to the League Cup final. Hibs chucked it away again and drew it home to Dundee United, and a dramatic game at Dens saw Dundee come from 2-0 down to beat Kilmarnock 3-2. However, only one show in town on these phone lines. It is that semi-final. John's a Rangers fan. You must be happy with that result today, John.
But what my point is to Mr. Keevins, right? But first of all, what is Mr. Dalziel? Mr. Dalziel, who did you play under at Rangers?
Who did I play under?
Who was your manager?
John Gregg and Jock Wallace.
You and I watched you, and you were ran, and made no shade, and made nothing. You're sitting there slagging Kilmarnock, right? Mr. Keevins, we were assembled back then, and we rebuilt. We can rebuild again. But you're sitting there saying we've no shape, we've no this, we've no that. We're still going, we're still fighting. You just sit there and slaughter us as much as you want. You eat your words, because eventually we'll get it right.
John, just a small point. Did you notice the person that said there was no shape and it was rotten was the previous caller, who was a Rangers fan? I wouldn't worry about what we think. It feels like a lot of your fellow Rangers fans feel that way.
Mr. DL said, hey, listen, they ain't in a very shape when he played with us. When he was in.
John, I don't mean to be cheeky, but can you shout less just so we can hear you? That's all. It's just the speakers are going a bit funny.
He's sitting there, and Mr. Keevins forgets the board is a shambles. Until David Murray came in 86, we had to watch a shambles for years. I remember going to Ibrox at 3000, and you're sitting there being as pelters, right? From no shape, you're slagging Clermont off. We're in a rebuilding process.
Can I just draw your attention to the fact, when you finally stop, can I just draw your attention to the fact that thousands of Rangers fans didn't buy a ticket for today's game? They're fed up looking at the team and they're not even going to a cup semi-final.
Listen, how do you know that? Yeah, did you buy the ticket? Are you the ticket office manager now at Ibrox?
No. I'm
so don't talk rubbish. You don't know.
I'm watching
how do you explain the empty seats,
pictures
John?
of empty seats.
It was a 37,000 attendance at Hampden. How do you explain it?
How do you explain it? Well, that's not where their fans were.
I would have to say, I think you're...
That's how you said there.
Yeah. I would have to say you're an unreliable witness, because you're on about David Murray. David Murray took you to administration and liquidation.
Why are we talking about David Murray anyway? I'm sort of lost on what relevance that
because
has.
John's point is that Rangers
it was bad 30 years ago,
yeah.
So therefore it's okay if it's bad now.
And he's right. Football is cyclical. Celtic were almost out of business and then became the best team in the country. Rangers have been in that position and they're trying to come back. But the Rangers' problem since 2012, when it was administration and liquidation, is that they have never fully recovered. They had one season with Steven Gerrard where they won what was the most important title to John and the other Rangers supporters. But they have watched Celtic dominate Scottish football for the last 12-13 years.
I don't mind a bit of positivity, John. I think it's healthy, so the floor is yours. Tell us what you like about this Rangers team.
This Rangers team at the moment, right, it's the worst two players off, right? And I'll tell me what a vision that guy's got. We're in building, right? I'm going to Athens on Thursday. Hey, you can say what you say, and we can have the riot almost.
Oh no, it was good fun as well, but it genuinely is breaking up a bit. Czerny's vision, I think, was the positive, which again I don't think you would argue.
Czerny, like the other Rangers players, had a terrible first half and a better second half, and it's the best expression I can come up with. Man of the match, because he was the least poor player on the Rangers team. But you know, John, passionate but misguided, because it's abundantly clear to the Rangers supporters in their thousands that this is not acceptable, and that the majority wanted Philippe Clement removed even before we got to today.
So John, you still got a bit of faith? You think Philippe Clement's the man to turn this round?
Well, they keep signing managers. They keep in the same circle, in the same cycle. Is it time to actually just get back to it? As you said, some things goes in circles. Aberdeen, the second half. Listen, Aberdeen in the future.
John, your line is so difficult to understand you. Honestly, I've tried a couple of times. It's just, I don't know if the signal's not brilliant. I still take that argument, to be fair, of you can't, like, no football team anywhere in the world can just sack their manager every autumn and then expect to keep doing that. But then I also accept there becomes a breaking point for people. So whether we're at that or not, time will tell.
Well, you've got to assess what's gone before under the current manager and over a year's work. And has it come on any? Is it getting better? Can you see a brighter future? If you're being honest, I think we can all respect loyalty, and John's obviously really loyal, but you need to gauge it with honesty. And has it got better? Is it progressing? Is there a brighter picture down the road? At the minute, no, because results and results, they got the result today, but performances aren't getting better. So I'm interested to hear what Clement says about today's game. Is it just purely about the result, which in semi-finals it might be, But the Rangers fans want to see a brighter picture, something progressing, and today didn't show that. So I know you can't keep sacking managers, but you've got to have a bit of positivity to look to give the fans a bit of hope that they can bridge a gap between themselves, Aberdeen and Celtic.
The only thing John got right in that full phone call there was when he says I was rotten, and I agree with him. I can't argue that fact. But work in progress, we'll eat our words. I don't see any sign of that, and I'm not alone here, because there'll be hundreds of Rangers fans listening, going home. They're a terrible watch, right? They're an absolute shambles of a watch. It was all about getting to the final today. I said that earlier, but sometimes as a fan you want to go along, you want to see what's happening. Now, eat our words. When are we going to eat our words? Because I don't see that team all of a sudden jumping into life and challenging Celtic and going and win the league or whatever it is. They're fighting for second place against Aberdeen as far as I'm concerned. So I don't see the work in progress. I see the team going back the way, if I'm honest about it. Now, Clement is still in the chat and in his job, and I do agree you can't keep sacking managers all the time, but surely he's got to improve in that. And you look at a semi-final against Motherwell with a chance to go and play Celtic in the final when you've got 37,000 at Hampden. It tells its own story.
Thanks to John. We struggled to hear him at the end, but we got the gist. What about Brian, who's a Rangers fan? How do you feel, Brian?
Well, I don't know. It's just watching Rangers every week. It just doesn't seem as if we're ever going forward, to be honest. I would just like to see what you think. Well, you think it's down to Clement, to the board, or whether it's down to even the players.
You tell us your thought. I'm sick of these three, to be honest, today. What's your take on it all?
Personally, I think that it's down to Clement, but also down to the board. I think we've got a group of players that have a great ability and can win good things and do well in Europe and in the league, but the people behind them aren't there in the club.
I suppose, Hugh, the fact that we're even having this discussion does just show you the damage that has been done up until this point.
Yeah.
For John, he was happy about today, which is fine, but for some Rangers fans, a progression to a League Cup final has not even shifted the dial of how they're feeling, which is quite something.
I think also because they've watched Celtic last night score 6 goals, could have been more, and their team's performance the following day, by comparison, does not begin to come into the same realm as Celtic. But with regard to the board as it was constituted then appointed Philippe Clement. The board then bankrolled Philippe Clement. What happens thereafter is down to Clement, because the board have done all they can. They appointed him and they bankrolled him to the best that they could, because they don't have a great deal of money. So Rangers, the remit was to make the team better than it was when Clement took over. Has that been done? No, not at all. And that's why Rangers supporters are staying away from Hampden today in their thousands, and why they must already look forward to games that have to come: Olympiacos, Hearts, then the international break, building up towards the cup final with Celtic December 15. Clement has yet to beat Celtic since becoming manager. All of that puts it on Clement's shoulders. The board, even the remnants of the board that you have now, they've done their bit. They can't affect results and performances.
But I suppose what it does do, though, then, Gordon, if you are not in the mood to sack Philippe Clement after Pataudry, as they obviously weren't, then you certainly don't sack him after a cup semi-final where you win the game. So you don't really know where they're at on this topic.
I think that he'll be given time to turn things around. I really do. Look, their league position's not great just now. I keep saying it every time I watch Rangers, that they don't excite me. But the manager's there. He's brought in players. Even the players that he's brought in, you look today, Proper was probably fourth choice as a centre back. He had 4 of his signings actually starting. The other night there, he had 8 players that he inherited in the biggest game at Aberdeen. I don't think that sacking Clement is the way forward. I think you've got to give him, back him, give him the
you
time.
said midweek he had to go.
No, I didn't. I said that if he get beat today, I think the Rangers fans would have hounded him out the club. And a lot of fans are still sort of undecided with him. There's no doubt in that.
Sure?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I feel like during the week they were all pretty decided. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, John speaks for himself. No, John's about the only one that's come on and defended him. But there must be Rangers fans out there that
I don't think there are many.
Me personally, I don't like their brand of football. I think the brand of football is rubbish.
The Nokia has come to life with a pal of mine who's at Hampden. I will protect his anonymity. At Hampden, Hugh, he's a big Rangers fan. Utter garbage from this Rangers team. Honestly, first I've seen them in the flesh this season. Clueless.
That was one of their better performances. We might hear from Philippe Clement afterwards. You never know. Well, I mean, Stephen, was it Stephen or Brian we had through in the phone? Remind me, sorry, there was two there and I couldn't remember who we took first. Brian, what's it going to take then? Do you see scope for progression at all going forward?
And looking at the club, the back behind the club, it seems to be as if we've got no money at all. We can't afford to even sack Clement, and in January I don't know where we go. Well, to improve this team, because in the summer it's been the same old that we've had for the past couple of years. Assigning players that come in and do nothing. So I really don't know where we go forward for this.
Well, let's bring in Stephen and East Kilbride and get his take as well. Stephen, I'm not detecting loads of optimism and celebration on the day that Rangers reached a League Cup final.
No, I mean I'm a disgruntled fan, and I want to kind of back you up because I'm pretty certain that Gordon Dalziel said on another podcast that he would sack the manager a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I'll be listening back, don't you worry.
I'm pretty sure he said that, but no, I mean I've been there today. I was there against Stoy, I was there against St Mirren, didn't go to Kilmarnock. I think since the international break we've been shambles, gone back the way. I'd like to get rid of the manager. I don't see any progress. If I could see patterns of play, if I could see progress, then I could understand it. I don't think the team's performing under this 4-2-3-1. I think there's a real imbalance in the team, and at times today it almost looked as if we had a front five or a front six, always liable to be exposed on the break. I just think it's reached breaking point, and I understand that there is a contract in place and there's backroom staff, but even though John Bennett said, we can't do the rinse and repeat, I think that we're not going to. We're just treading water. We're standing still, and I wouldn't be hugely critical of the players. The players are trying to implement a style which I don't think they understand, and that's how when you watch the games of football, you just think that the players are clueless. But I think the direction they're being given is so off the charts that they're going out there confused and unable to deliver. And I don't actually think they're bad players.
I think the closest we got to distinguishing a sort of plan early in the game, Mark, was put the ball into the box really early.
Yeah.
Now when a player then really overhits that and then puts it out of play, or it's really high and really loopy and a goalie can get it, then that is the player's fault. But even at that, is that the even if it was executed slightly better, is that a plan that ever really looked like working? Because if anything, when Rangers did get their joy was when in the second half when
they pieced things together, didn't they? They had forward runners and we cut back from Barron, same with Barami, how he gets in, so it looked much better. But I think Stephen's right, the players do look a bit confused at times. They look like they get to around about 30-40 yards out and it's that big looking cross, and it happens too often for us to say, oh, that's a player's decision on the pitch. We saw Tavernier do it time and time and time again. We saw other players do it, and they're hitting long hopeful balls to Dessers up front. I made the point in the first half, Motherwell have got a back three, big units, willing to battle with Dessers, and the long ball goes up to him. They win the corner in that instance, but what if he brings it down? There's nobody in touch with him. So you're playing a game of chances and hoping that something comes off rather than any real plan formulating. Now that's not just today, that's been throughout the season. So that's where you have to question the direction of what's been told. What is the message before? What are they working on? And Brian saying who's to blame. Well, the board takes their blame for the positions that are left vacant just now. The players, of course, have to be better at times, and they should have been better against at Pittodrie against Aberdeen in terms of effort and all the dirty side of the game that you need to be, but it does boil down to the game plan and what we're witnessing. Good players, like Stephen says, because they are good players, they play for Rangers, there's no doubt about that, but the same pattern over and over again. We say lack of pattern. There is a lack of a good pattern, a nice in the eye pattern. There is a pattern there. Get it wide, put it in the box and fight for second ball. It's weird.
I mean, Stephen, everybody said that Philippe Clement, if he lost today, he would lose his job. So he won today. Does this not feel like a big win for him?
I think it's just a stay of execution. We're going to Athens on Thursday night, I think, and then we've got a tea-time kick-off next Sunday at home to Hearts. I don't expect much on Thursday night, to be honest. I don't know much about Olympiacos and where they're standing in the league. Hearts seem to be on a bit of a resurgent path, but we can't kid ourselves on, and the games of late have been diabolical to watch. And like Mark said there, there are patterns of play, but the patterns of play, I don't know whether you would say they're clear. Then this get it wide, lump it into the box. Then you're seeing crosses from Jeffrey and you're seeing crosses from Tavernier, but you've got an isolated number 9. It's not pretty in the eye. Under previous managers, you could see a 4-3-3 where they were quite narrow in the 2-3s, allowing for Tavernier and Barisic to bomb forward. With this stuff just now, the 3 behind Dessers, I can't work out what they're supposed to be. Then you've got Raskin and Barron. Are they supposed to be in there to do the dirty work? Are they supposed to be the creators? It's not enjoyable to watch. It's not. There's a lack of enthusiasm from the stands. There's a kind of acceptance of your fate before the game's even kicked off, and it's frustrating. But it can't be the rinse and repeat. But if you could get more clarity from the manager's press conferences of late have been underwhelming, and to the extent that I think a lot of fans can't even be bothered listening to it anymore. Whereas previous managers, you'd be catching on every breath. Now you're just like, I'm sick and tired of hearing the same old excuses, because that's what it sounds like.
Well, we'll see what he has to say after this one. Thank you to Stephen. Some well thought out points made there by Stephen from East Kilbride. Hopefully we'll hear from him before the end of the show, but we are running out of time. Keep your calls coming. We'll do more next. What about you Motherwell fans? Does it feel like a bit of a missed opportunity? Didn't really offer enough, did you, across the 90 minutes? Let us know how you're feeling.
After they play, you have your say. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's Open Line.
Hampden a bit quieter now as the dust settles on a Rangers win. 2-1 victory against Motherwell, taking them through to the League Cup final. These are different times, because lots of Rangers fans still just calling to have a whinge about the performance. There's not a lot cheering them up currently. So if you agree or you feel a bit more optimistic, give us a call. Still keen, if we can, to hear from you Motherwell fans. You'll be back in the car now. You'll be stuck in that rubbish road trying to get back onto the M74. Gordon Dalziel knows it well. How disappointing was it? Does it feel like a bit of a missed opportunity? Did you do enough getting ahead in the game and not really building on it? Give us all your thoughts, please. Tom's a Rangers fan though. How do you feel, Tom?
Just a wee bit disappointed. Happy to be in the final, but disappointed with the game overall. No direction, no leadership, absolutely nothing. But we're in the final, so it's another game to look forward to. Possibly another trophy, but it's going to be very difficult. I just feel as if our club have got no direction. I feel as if we'll get businessmen running the club who've all disappeared. But I think one of the most important things about Rangers is we don't have a Rangers ex-football man on the board of some sort to help these players when they come in. I just feel as if we had something like that, then the players would realise what the club stands for, what this club expects, what the supporters expect, because we go there wanting to win every game and every trophy.
Do you think that's all? Sorry, Hugh. Do you think that's all it is, though, Tom? I mean, I hear this a lot. I just as an example off the top of my head, is there an ex-Celtic player on Celtic's board to tell them what to do? Is it not just simpler, Tom? You get good players and a good manager, and that's how you go about it. Is it really just because they need some Rangers man to tell them the history?
Well, no, really. If you take a business, would they know about? They'll go with it.
Tom's line's breaking up a bit. Let's try and see if we can get
address
up.
Thomas' point about the board. The board is made up of men, and for some years now this has been the case. the board and those who support the board have put in millions, literally millions of pounds in soft loans to keep Rangers going. I think before you enter into the sack the board argument, they are keeping Rangers going and are not yet in a position where Rangers can give them their money back. So in fairness to the board, they've kept the club going.
So I think we've got Tom back. So Tom, just sorry, we were asking what is it that makes you think having a so-called Rangers football man on the board would do?
Well, sacking the board is not what I say. I didn't mention sacking the board. What I say was, if you had someone with a history of Rangers who's played for the club, who realised what it's like going out to Ibrox week in and week out, then it could help going forward with new players coming in. Sometimes when players come to a team like Rangers or any big clubs, it's hard to settle in coming from a lesser club. And if we had someone on the board or a directorship or whatever, at one point we thought Graham Souness was coming back, then he could maybe help going forward.
Don't get me wrong, I don't doubt it, Hugh, and Mark Gordon, you've played. I don't doubt that it helps to know the expectations. So if that's the sort of base of the point, then you would get that. But like I say, it just feels like there are loads of clubs that function just fine without it.
Yeah, listen, I can take on board what Tom's saying, but I think you hit the nail on the head. The secret to it is quite simple. Get the manager, get the style of football, get good players, and get on that pitch and win games and entertain your fans, and keep them inside Ibrox. And that's the way forward. That's the way you've got to do it. Yeah, but did somebody like a Graham Souness on the board make any difference to players coming in? Yes, he can turn around and talk about the history of the club, but when it all boils down, you've got to go out on the pitch and get results and get entertainment.
It's such an old-fashioned argument, this. Ange Postecoglou came to Celtic from Australia via Japan and brought in a trio of Japanese players, Kyogo, Maeda, Hatate, and changed the face of Celtic.
And he didn't bring any coaches with him?
No, not one. And he wouldn't have known Celtic songs or this, that or the other. He just brought in quality players, and Celtic then took over Scottish football. So it's an old-fashioned argument. What the Rangers fans pine for is the late great Walter Smith, who was Rangers through and through, and who could sit as easily in the boardroom as he could on the bench. He was the outstanding manager of Rangers' modern day history, and sadly Walter has gone, and they have never found a replacement of a comparable stature. But some old argument about getting a former Rangers man in there is just a waste of time. What they need is a quality management, quality footballers, and then they can begin to try and match Celtic.
Well, it depends what the culture of your club is. Somewhere like Rangers, who, if you feel you need someone to uphold the standards and retell the history, maybe it is needed. Man United and Chelsea games on the background here. Sir Alex Ferguson, we hear, was paid, was it £2 million a year? He's just been relieved of that. Purely for those reasons, you'd have to expect to keep the standards of the club up and to keep him around the place. So maybe Tom has got a point. Graham Souness, his name was always popping up over the past year and a half, something like that. And I think he was quite vocal in other stations about who should get the manager's job and why he felt that Clement was maybe second choice to get it. If Rangers fans feel more comfortable with those people in the build, well, maybe it would make a difference. But I get back to Daz's point, when you've not got it, the players still know what's expected when they sign on the dotted line, when they come to a club as huge as Rangers. When they come to Glasgow, they know the Celtic and Rangers, and they know what's expected to win. So in one way I get it, in the other I still think there should be enough people in the building to let these players understand, who are coming to this country, what you need to do if you're a Rangers player.
I think initially you might realise, take a while to get round to this idea. Oh, actually, yeah, they don't even like draws here, even that's unacceptable. But you would get that pretty quickly, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Having said that, there has been that accusation levelled at Philippe Clement recently, in that he feels it's appropriate to come out after a defeat at Kilmarnock and essentially say, he thought they were worth a draw, or to talk about how that this game could have been different and that game could have been different. People do take that as being not quite getting it, whether that's fair or not.
For me, Philippe Clement came here as a composed man and now looks like a confused man. He has got caught up in it all, and his misfortune is that Celtic have got a manager who's been over the course before, has better players than Clement has, and they are miles in front, and Aberdeen are miles in front of Rangers, and they've got someone from Sweden in Aberdeen. So Rangers will have to go from game to game. I don't think what happens in Athens on Thursday will affect anything, because it's about domestic football, domestic domination.
Let's hear from Philippe Clement. Brief thoughts before we go.
It was probably the worst scenario that you can have. Starting the game well, creating chances, and then on the first really dangerous ball in the box that you can see the goal. But this needs to be also a reference game for this squad, for this new squad, to do what we've been doing a lot last season, and is to dig in, and in every situation to keep our belief, to keep on going, to keep on fighting, and to break the wall then if we go behind. So this can be a massive game at the end of the season, to have this one as a reference. That I want to see every 3 days. This mentality. That's what we've been talking about, but talking is not enough. We need to do it on the pitch.
What do I know? Because I actually said earlier, this can't go down as a reference game. I think I said that, and then he's specifically saying it. Well, to be fair, maybe he just means the character, the mentality, and digging in and getting it over the line. I hope that's what he means.
Yeah, it probably is, but it goes back to mention a new squad. He had 4 of his own players playing. The rest he inherited. So, look, at the end of the day, it was all about getting to final. He's achieved that. I thought Rangers thoroughly deserved the victory, Gordon. I thought they're a better side. I thought they're a lot better in the second half. But I go back to it, I think a lot of fans are turning off.
Rangers deserve to go through, but I disagree with the manager. I don't think many Rangers fans will want this as a reference point, this game going forward.
It's a massive game until December 15 when they play Celtic. It'll be even more massive if they beat Celtic, but from this distance, you wouldn't bet on it.
What a weekend it's been. Well done to Celtic and well done to Rangers for reaching the League Cup final. December 15th is the date, and plenty of football to be played before then. We are back tomorrow night from 6 to look back on it all the big talking points from the weekend. So make sure you join us, and in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. The UK Chart Show is up next.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard podcast with Lookers Audi. The fully electric Q4 is now available on Motability. Discover it today.
Looking to get car or van insurance double quick? To mustard.co.uk. With top insurance providers, a 5-minute pit stop with us could get you out in front in the race to savings. Car or van, work or play. Compare insurance with mustard.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.